welcome to day 2 at the Spire Institute and Academy in Geneva, Ohio, the host of the 2022 D3 Men's and Women's Outdoor Track and Field National Championships. We're excited to bring you more coverage from this meet. Day 1 was intense with some prelims, some field finals, and that 10K final. Noah, it's great to be here again, ready to bring you some hundreds, some hurdles, and an 800 later.
Yeah, we're going to continue setting the stage today for a big day tomorrow, getting into some more prelims on the track today. Some field finals will bring you all that action as the day develops. But yeah, we've got another beautiful day here at the Spire Institute, a little bit cooler today, still a little bit of a breeze, as we'll discuss over the course of the competition today. But first on the track, we have the women setting up their blocks for the 100-meter hurdles.
And as they get into your blocks, we'll get you caught up on the team scores here really quickly. It's only been 5 events scored right now, but currently leading is Rowan on the men's side. Wisconsin Eau Claire and John Carroll tied for second, and Wisconsin Stout has 14 points. So those are your trophies. We'll get you the women here in a second, but let's introduce you to Heat 1 of the women's 100-meter hurdles. In lane 2, we have Kelsey Seelock out of Bethel. In lane 3, Julia Pena of York. In lane 4, Amelia Hewson of Whitworth. Lane 5, JC Andrews from Bridgewater State. In lane 6, Catherine Jacobs of Babson. In lane 7, Bergen Nelson of Gustavus Adolphus. And in lane 8, Ren Brown.
Yeah, a few names here to keep an eye on. Bergen Nelson, 10th all-time. You're going to see her there. And sorry, Stu, you're giving me a hand signal?
Yeah, she is 5th all-time.
Oh, okay.
Our notes are a little off there. She's 5th all-time.
Excuse me, 5th all-time. You'll see her there.
In lane 7.
In lane 7.
As they climb into the blocks here, we will tell you and with the stand up here, readjust. The worst, having to stand back up, readjust your blocks as you're already fairly nervous heading into this prelim. But that gives us the time to let you know who can qualify. Again, in the sprint events, it'll be the top. It'll be the winner from each heat, then the next 6 fastest times. Again, we'll fill the lanes here for the national championship final, and there are 9 lanes here at the Spire Institute. So we'll go 9 deep for the finals as they climb back in to the blocks.
We do have a defending champion in this heat as well.
You guys are fine.
And that's the JC Andrews from 2019, returning champion. You can see her in lane 5.
And you'll look for Bergen Nelson to extend her lead there early on, showing why she's the 5th best ever, and she will safely move into tomorrow's final. From Gustavus Adolphus, Bergen Nelson, 13:72, so right around her seed time of 13:71. Kelsey Seelock also gets under 14 seconds there. They are conference foes in the MIC, the MIAC up in Minnesota, so they know each other well, and JC Andrews will look to see if her time will get her into tomorrow's final. I can finally say tomorrow is the
final. We are approaching the big day tomorrow, but you got to set the stage first, and we're doing that as we move into heat number 2 of the 100 hurdles prelim.
We're moving right along here. In lane 2, we have Nicole Nordarani of Rowan, Nikala Nadu of Elmhurst, Eliza Cardwell from Amherst, Emma Lawrence from Wisconsin La Crosse, Leah Berge from Lancaster Bible, Anya Seward from Lynchburg, Julia Babnick of North Central, and Denise Party of North Central. So 2 teammates. It's going to be a practice for them out in the outer lanes in lane 8 and 9.
Emma Lawrence of Wisconsin La Crosse might be one to keep an eye on here. She was 3rd in both the 400 hurdles and the 100 hurdles in this event in 2021. Outdoors finished 4th over the hurdles indoors.
Yeah, and Julia Babnick, too, she's got a top 20 all-time time as well. She was 6th last year in the 100 hurdles, and she won indoors in the 60 meters. So very strong athletes here ready to get into tomorrow's final.
And Julia will climb into the blocks next to her teammate in lane 9, Partee.
Good start in the outer lanes there for North Central, but Emma Lawrence makes it up quickly in the center there. With Babinick from North Central as well. These two are going to battle tomorrow in the final. One of them will get automatically. It'll be Julia Babinick from North Central. A little bit slower than the first heat there, which gives Heat 1 a little bit of cushion as they will be okay for some of them on time. So Babinick from North Central will move in. They had a headwind of 1.8 meters per second, which unfortunate for them. I'd missed the wind there on Heat 2, but Emma Lawrence will hopefully get into the final tomorrow. She's already leading the nation right now in the 400-meter hurdles, so she looks to get just one straightaway for the 100 tomorrow as well, and hopefully get some points for Wisconsin cross.
As we move into the final, third and final heat on the track, that bubble time for the 9th lane in the final is going to be 14.53.
So a lot of the 14.53 is well within a lot of these women's wheelhouses. The slowest time coming into this heat is 14.50, but with a headwind, anything can happen there. And as you battle going into the wind, it makes things a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, the wind definitely is kind of shifting around today. I'm kind of keeping an eye on the flag. It's almost a bit of a crosswind on them right now, I think.
Yeah, it looks like based on the flag, our only point of reference there, but we'll get you introduced here to Heat 3 of the 100-meter hurdles. In lane 2, Laura Matthews from Stevens, Gwen Jordan from CO, Gracie Dennison from Irvine in lane 4, Hannah Zapp from Wisconsin State in lane 5, Caroline DeVecco from Snappy in lane 6, Logan Bruce from Ithaca in lane 7, and Michelle a
couple of ringers, and Laura Matthews, 5th indoors, and you can see her in lane 2. One other athlete to probably on here is going to be Hannah Zastro, who was your runner-up indoors, was 5th at Outdoor Nationals in 2021. She's also going to be performing in the high jump at this meet.
Yeah, and Logan Bruce, too, out in lane 7. She was the indoor runner-up in the Pent, and now she's also in the Heptathlon out here as well. Great start there from Laura Matthews of Stevens. She's going to get the big cue here, followed by Hannah Zastro of Stout.
We're calling it 14.16 for the win, Zastro 14.31, and we should get a clear picture of the qualification.
Wow, almost a -3 wind. That is tough. That stands you up straight.
Yeah, the wind really fluctuated across those 3 heats. We do have that list of 9 qualifiers for you now. Bergen Nelson, Julia Babinick, and Laura Matthews get in with the auto qualifiers, the big Qs. On time, we're going to have Kelsey Seelock, JC Andrews, Catherine Jacobs, Amelia Hewson, Hannah Zastro, and Emma Lawrence of Wisconsin lacrosse rounds out the field. It took 14.32 or faster to get into the final in the women's 100 hurls.
It's interesting that once we got to the track here, the hurdles were already set up. They saw a headwind. I wonder why they didn't quickly flip it to the home stretch. But now look at the flag, it's dead. So it's going to be an up and down day with the wind here impacting these sprint athletes, as not only do we have the 110 hurdles coming up, but we'll also have the fastest race in track and field, the 100-meter dash, a little bit later on, but sandwiched between the 110 hurdles and the 100-meter dash will be the 400 meters, and we'll get you up to date here on the top 4 teams on the women's side as well. right now through 6 events, and mind you, there are 21 events, so we're still very early into this championship as we've only seen 1 track final and a few field finals. So through 6 events, Johns Hopkins and Loris are tied with 16 points. Wisconsin Lacrosse has 12 and in third, and then Carroll is sitting 4th with 11, and then there are 4 teams with 10 points each. And we'll be sure to let you know how many athletes each title or each trophy contending team will have in tomorrow's final. I'm glad I can finally say tomorrow's final and not be wrong about that. So moving on, we'll have the 110-meter hurdles here. And before we do that, Noah, let's kind of take a preview of what we're expecting to have this today. What are you looking forward to in the 100?
Sorry, Stu, you're making a hand gesture at me. I can't understand it. Why don't you just say
what are you looking forward to in the 100? Who are you looking forward to watching in the 100?
Yeah, Stu, I'm going to consult the meet preview that we've constructed over on d3glorydays.com. If you guys are interested in following along with today's events, you can do so. www.d3glorydays.com. This was prepared by Emily Richards. So, yeah, a lot can happen. A lot can happen in the 100. We've got a lot of men bunched closely together. We have the defending champion from last year in JP Vaught of Center College, who's also going to be going off after that collegiate record in the 200 on Saturday. So he's definitely a name to look at. Sam Blaskowski, who we've already seen a couple times this weekend, is going to be in there too. So, yeah, this is we've talked a lot about depth so far in the 100. This is the fastest it's ever been.
Yeah, 10:49 is what it took to get in here, and a few guys tied at 10:49. So we have some 10:49 guys sitting at home watching because they went to the next best time. That's how they figure out a tie here. But let's get you caught up to speed here on the 110 hurdles that we have on the track. We might be a little bit ahead of schedule here, but they are warming up. So we'll try to let you know who to look for in Heat 1. So in Heat 1, Lane 3 will be Dayton Love of Wartburg, Quinn Phoebus of Audubon in Lane 4, Kenneth Way of MIT in 5, Terrell Lewis of Plymouth State in 6, Lucas Kremskuk of St. Olaf in 7, and Oliver Thomas of WPI in 8. A lot of big names here on this first heat, and starting off with Kenneth Way of MIT. He already won a national title so far this weekend. If you remember, he won the long jump in a championship record of 7.88 meters. He's looking to improve upon his 3rd place finish from the indoor 60-meter hurdles. But coming in with a higher seed is Oliver Thomas. He was 2nd indoor. He was number 2 all time and actually traveled out to compete against the pros at the USA Indoor Championship. He forgo, I believe it was the New England Championships, and went to face the best in the country against Grant Holloway. So great experience for him.
Yeah, it's hard to pass up the chance to really go after the pros. Obviously, we would have loved to have seen his talent at the D3 national meet, but
no, it was NESCAC's meet.
Or NESCAC meet, sorry, but we will not hold that against him.
Or not NESCAC, New England's. They're not in the NESCAC. WPI is in the NAC. But yeah, also Dayton Love from Wartburg. If they want to get a trophy like they won last year, they'll need him to get into the final. He was 6th at last year's outdoor national championships and was 4th indoors. You know, Lucas Kramerzuck of St. Olaf, this is his first national meet.
Yeah, looking back through his results, he's been pretty consistently in that 14.4 range. And, you know, when you start to establish consistency, you just never know when somebody might pop one. And so he's not the top seed in this heat, but he could be coming in just with a strong base, and you just never know. Catch him on a good day.
Yeah, and Terrell Lewis of Plymouth State, we glanced over at him. He was 3rd in this event last year. So we're already seeing a pretty loaded first heat here, and we haven't even seen the 1 or seeds. We've only even seen the 3rd, 4th, 9th, 10th, 15th, and 16th. Again, just showing the depth we're seeing at this year's Outdoor Track and Field Championships at the Spire Institute.
Yeah, this heat even, a little more loaded than it looks just in seed times, especially when you consider somebody like Terrell Lewis has run 14.2 in the past. I mean, that would make him one of the top seeds going into this race, but coming in with a 14.4 is still very respectable, but if he gets back to his best, he could figure here.
Yeah, a lot of these guys were in last year's final. Not enough lanes to get all of them back there. Oh, as they're going through, so you can see now on the track, that is Heat 2 getting some of their block starts ready to go, giving everyone some time to get warmed up here as we're a little bit ahead of schedule here as you can see some of the warm-ups, some of the routines these athletes go through.
We still got pants on.
Yeah, it's a little different than, a normal invite or any other meet where you have to be kind of ready to go and compete at the national stage and out of your element a bit. Usually get a little bit more time to warm up and everything like that, but they corral you and put you on the track without your sweats earlier in your warm-up period.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll direct your attention to the jump area. In the high jump, we have your contestants today in the men's high jump.
One name that this field will be happy not to see entered is the indoor national champion, Andrew Whitaker. We mentioned him yesterday in the 4x4. He was a cornerback for the WashU football team and is giving it a go in the NFL. He got picked up by the Green Bay Packers for their rookie mini camp and is trying out to become an NFL DB. And he was able to compete yesterday in the 4x4. I didn't have a chance to speak with Jeff Stiles as to why he's not in some individual events, but pretty cool to see that he's, even though I'm a Bears fan, working out with the Packers and hoping to become an NFL player.
Yeah, definitely pulling for him. It's always cool to see D3 athletes make it in pro sports.
Another reason why high school athletes who play football should run track is definitely a direct correlation with speed from track going into football. We spoke with JP Vaught a couple times over our careers, and the first time we spoke with him was when he was kind of debating if he should continue playing football or not. He definitely saw how the track speed correlated into football, but getting hit all the time and everything like that kept him hurt for track, and he wanted to focus more on the track, and it clearly has paid off.
Yeah, track typically a non-contact sport, though we have seen a little bit of shoving and some falling to the track so far at this meet last night.
Yeah, so if you saw yesterday in the 4x4, a little bit of contact there on, I think that was the third exchange. Ended up, oh wow, actually WashU, still DQ'd, never mind. WashU is still DQ'd and Claremont Mud Scripps is DQ'd as Claremont Scripps
Welcome back to the Spire Institute here in Geneva, Ohio. It's the 2022 NCAA Track and Field National Championships here on day 2. Thank you for joining us as we turn our attention back to the track for the men's 110 hurdles. My name is Noah Dradi. I'm joined by my friend
Stu Neustadt.
Stu Neustadt. He says I figured I'd let him introduce himself. And so
Thank you.
We're going to be here with you over the full course of the weekend, last night, today, and tomorrow, the big day of finals. But Stu, for those with us before the break, we were kind of breaking down the 110 hurdles. And so who are we, just to refresh the people who may be just joining us, who are we looking for in Heat 1 here?
Yep. to remind you all where everyone is in the lanes. Lane 3, Dayton Love of Wartburg, Quinn Phoebus, lane 4 of Otterbein, Kenneth Way of MIT in the middle in lane 5, Terrell Lewis of Plymouth State in 6, Lucas Kramerzuk of St. Olaf in 7, and Oliver Thomas of WPI will be in lane 8, and this is a loaded first heat.
2 of the top 5 from your indoor meet are going to be in here. Oliver Thomas and Dayton Love were 2nd and 4th in the indoor 60 hurdles respectively. Let's see. We also have somebody who has finished 3rd in the past, a podium finisher from 2021, ran 14.2. That's Terrell Lewis. You'll see him in this race as well. So 3 athletes with pretty high-end national meet experience here in the first heat.
Yeah, and Kenneth Way of MIT has already won a national title in the long jump. He'll look to get to the final.
Yeah, if you would have joined us last night, you saw him super excited after that win, obviously.
Jumping 788, a championship record as they climb into the box for the first prelim of the men's 110 hurdles.
And we're off in a clean start.
Oliver Thomas on the outside with a small lead. Let's see if the WPI athlete can continue it, but in the center of the track, Kenneth Way starts to take over and gets the big cue, and he's excited. He's going to continue his national championship weekend, running 14:33 into a small headwind, followed by Quinn Phoebus of Otterbein, and then there's Oliver Thomas. Dayton Love in 4th. That could play a role into the team battle there. But Kenneth Way, long jump national champion, gets another chance at another national title in tomorrow's 110-meter hurdle finals. And as a reminder, the winner of each heat advances to tomorrow's final, and then the next 6 fastest times. Again, we have 9 lanes here at the Spire Institute, and they plan to fill all 9 for a great final tomorrow.
Oliver Thomas and Dayton Love are going to be watching the scoreboard
closely
with bated breath here as Heat 2 takes to the blocks.
Yep, in lane 2 from Trine, Jake Gladio. In lane 3, Brett Morse of SUNY Cortland. Lane 4, Giovanni Alfred of Wash U. Lane 5, Marquise Young of Rowan. Lane 6, Tanner Burton of Colby. Lane 7, Corn Leonard of Benedictine, and Desmond Gist of Bluffton in lane 8. You're going to watch for lane 7, Corn Leonard. He came in with the fastest seed time. He's 20th all time. He was 6th indoors, and he is also on that Benedictine 4x1 that is 3rd all time. So a big weekend for him. He transferred to Benedictine this year and is making an instant impact here. Gladio
was 5th indoors this year, so another one of those high-end finishers from this year. We also have the 7th place finisher in Giovanni Alfred, who was 7th indoors, and so, yeah, more All-Americans in these heats.
Yep, and Gladio from Trine was last year's 400-meter hurdle champion. Unfortunately, yesterday he did not move on to the final, so he's got redemption here today to get to a final in the 110 hurdles. And if Rowan wants a chance here with a team battle, they're going to rely here on Marquise Young to get them into the final here tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch Corn Leonard here. Wish they weren't running into that slight headwind because I think he's definitely capable of putting on a show. But, yeah, slight breeze in their face heading down that backstretch. That bubble time from Heat 1 is going to be 14.6. 14.66, the bubble time from Heat 1.
Corn Leonard will be on the outside in a white top and red bottoms. But Giovanni Alfred of WashU has an early lead there on the inside. But there comes Jake Gladio on the inside as well. Looks like Alfred or Gladio. Couldn't tell from our angle there. I guess I could have watched the screen, but maybe Gladio from Trine. Oh, it's Alfred of WashU. 14:31. Just edging out Gladio of Trine as Corn Leonard sees 14:58. The national leader coming into it now has to watch the clock. The worst position to be in right now. Hopefully he'll see the time get him in. But Alfred coming up big again. We saw him indoors. I don't believe he was in the top 8 in the indoors going into the meet and finished 7th. So showing up at the right time for WashU as they try to make another run for a trophy.
Corn Leonard, the fastest seed, is going to be right on the bubble of qualification as we continue to watch these results populate.
Yeah, that's got to be a tough feeling, but say he doesn't get in, he's got to quickly flip that mindset and help that 4x1 out tomorrow in the final. They have the fastest time in the country, fastest qualifying mark, so he's got to sit now and watch the scoreboard, but he still has another race here this weekend.
Yeah, it looks like 14.63 is going to be our bubble time heading into this last heat.
So, yeah, 0.05 of a second is the wiggle room for Corn Leonard.
Heat 3 now on the track. As we mentioned, we'll run you through those lane assignments as they do some final stretching and shaking out.
Lane 2 from Wisconsin Stout, Caden Martin. Lane 3 from Wisconsin Stevens Point, Jared Schrang. Lane 4 from Otterbein, Michael Renette. Lane 5 from MIT, Walter Truitt. From Bethel in lane 6, Jason Eichier. Zachary Reed from Laverne will be in lane 7, and rounding out the field in lane 8 is Landon Kiefover from Wisconsin Whitewater. So 3 guys from the WIAC here into the 3rd prelim.
Zachary Reed from Laverne, you'll see him in lane 7. He comes in with the fastest seed time in a 14.18. He's a freshman. His win legal PB, 14.45. So we'll see what he can replicate here.
Yeah, and Jason Eichier of Bethel won the MIAC, setting a big PR.
So maybe not the star power of the first 2 heats, but definitely some guys who are running well late in the season and are going to be coming in with some momentum.
Yeah, anything can happen at the national meet. We just saw Giovanni Alfred. He came in as the 7th seed and got the big Q. And there's Bethel out in front. That's Jason Eichier looking to get that big Q. He does. 14:36. We'll see now. Go to the clock. 14:40.
It's going to be really close.
Oh, and Corn Leonard's going to sneak in.
Yep.
A sigh of relief. I wonder if we can see Corn from here, but Corn should be good.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any time qualifiers are going to come out of this.
Nope. So a sigh of relief for the national leader right now, 20th all-time, Corn Leonard from Benedictine, keeps their hopes of bringing a trophy back to Lisle, Illinois, alive as they had a big jump from Matt Fleming yesterday in the long jump to finish 4th. They'll have Benedictine's 4x1 tomorrow, and we'll get to see DJ Anderson here in the 400-meter coming up after this.
With some action on the track wrapping up for now, we are going to move you back to the field and show you a recap of the men's shot put.
Yeah, it was an intense battle there in the men's shot put. Here is Joseph White out of Carthage. And on his last throw, wins the national title over Kevin Reichel from Wisconsin Stout. So a big moment for the coach. We actually just saw them and didn't realize how big of a moment that was as we came up into the booth. 1785, the national champion, Joseph White. I believe he came into it second, so he moved up a spot over Kevin Reichel. Hunter Logan was third, Bram Miller fourth, Jakob Okui of Eau Claire fifth, Jackson Schleckler of Oshkosh sixth, Keegan Digby of Ohio Northern in seventh, and Darrell Murray is eighth. And on the screen there, you can see the top four. As mentioned, you can see their marks as well. So a fairly competitive shot put on the men's side here we saw, and we'll see the women's here in a little bit, but Joseph White brings a national title back to Kenosha, Wisconsin.
And just before we get too far away from the 110 hurdles, just want to run you through the qualifiers, which we didn't quite get a chance to do with the big cues. Giovanni Alfred, Kenneth Way, Jason Ikior of Bethel, they get the big cues moving on. On time, Jake Gladio, Quinn Phoebus, Oliver Thomas, Dayton Love, Terrell Lewis, and bringing home the field in the 9th lane, Corin Leonard. It took 14.58 to qualify for tomorrow's final.
Wow, I wonder if the wind was playing a factor. So Kevin Reichel, who was the runner-up, his personal best, and he's 20th all time, he's thrown 18.29 meters. So I wonder if the wind played a factor into the shot put today, as they're a little bit off their marks. And I was looking into, what that looked like all time, and the national record is 21 meters.
And while we're talking about shot put, we're going to throw it back out to the field for the women's competition, which is happening as we speak.
Yep, they're into the second flight here. They're getting their final throws. As Annika Poe of Gustavus Adolphus with the glide technique throws it out there, and they'll mark it down.
Her best throw so far, 14.36. This is her third throw. See if she can improve upon that.
Let's go, Katie. Come on, Katie. Come on, Bob.
We'll see a big contingent from the WIAC here, as Brianna Lee of Platteville, Katie Fobb of Eau Claire, and Brenna Noon all three are in the top four, as Katie Fobb steps into the ring. She is currently second right now on her third throw in the second flight, but she will be into the final. Another technique there, the rotational.
I think I would be a rotational thrower.
Would you?
I like the spin.
Yeah, I think you get a little bit more momentum.
I've always been good turning.
It's very technical, though, as I spoke with Sky Digman, perfect timing, Sky.
And Sky Digman enters the chat.
Yeah, spoke with her before the competition, and she was more of a rotational versus a glide, as she tosses one out there.
We saw Sky yesterday.
We did. She is the national champion in the discus, and she's currently sitting 8th. She's the indoor national champion, so maybe in these first, she's into the final right now, off her personal best, but maybe she's just kind of getting the lay of the land, a little tired from the discus, as it was a little bit unexpected, she mentioned in a post-race interview with Emily Richards. You can see that on our Twitter right now.
And I believe we'll see her in the hammer tomorrow as well.
That's correct.
But in the meantime, Megan Parker steps into the ring. She's thrown 14.2, currently sitting in 6th place. And we leave the shot put competition behind. We head back to the track as your heptathletes are stepping to the line for the 800 meter, their final event.
Yeah, they've already had 7 events this weekend. And if you remember from indoors, it came down to the 800 meters. Hannah Zenkovic is in a similar situation right now. She's down 175 points to Kennedy Gibbons from Mount Union. She was in the same, like I said, same situation indoors. She overtook Kennedy to take the win in the pent in indoors, and so now we'll be able to see what these athletes have left if they've already competed in 6 events over the last 2 days.
Yeah, always a standing round of applause for these multi-athletes as they enter their last event. You know, it's been such a long weekend. Competition still on the line here, and remember, we're after points.
Yep. So place in this 800 meters does not matter. It's about the mark they get, the time they get. That time will be correlated to a specific point total, which goes to the overall points. And I'll introduce you to who is in this heat. From Wheaton, Illinois, Abby Gum, Lauren Rodier of St. Norbert, Eva Meintz of Benedictine, Serena Jonas of Bowdoin, Eileen Paquette of Rochester, Claire Tidman of Oberlin, Alyssa Roach of Christopher Newport, Adriana Strouder of SUNY Geneseo, Elena Welker of Albion, Susanna Perillo of Alvernia, Peyton Sell of Concordia Moorhead, and Abigail Mission of Wisconsin Whitewater.
Kennedy Gibbons looking to lock it up in front of the home crowd here.
So in this heat right now, there are 12 athletes, and they usually separate them, kind of a mix of their seed time, but also where they are currently right now, as Claire Tidman of Oberlin takes the early lead right now in this 800 meter. She's currently in 18th right now, hoping to get a good point total to improve upon her performance right now. And this is grueling. They've already competed in 6 events, as we said, and now they finish up with an 800.
Always an interesting scene at the finish line of these distance events for the multi-athletes. You know, they're definitely digging deep here, but a lot of fatigue in their bodies at this point.
Yeah, we've had an opportunity to speak with a few multis, you know, on the podcast and just in some general interviews, and you know, the way they train is very interesting, you know, from a distance athlete perspective or even a sprint athlete. You know, you're focused on one event, you focus on that particular skill set, but these multi-athletes are doing multiple events, multiple workouts in the same day. So they are used to this, but packaging it all together over a weekend is tough. But Claire Tiedemann of Oberlin.
That was a 66-second lap.
Yeah, she is looking strong right here. She knows what's at stake. The senior, most likely, well, she's a senior, but with TFERS and eligibility, maybe she'll use that eligibility elsewhere, but most likely coming into the final 200 meters in an Oberlin singlet. She's had a good battle at the NCAA Outdoor Championships with DePaul athlete Erin Pash. We'll see her in the next heat. But Tiedemann in her yelling out with 100 meters to go, giving a scream of either pain or excitement to be done.
Probably pain.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both.
Probably pain.
She is grimacing. She is smiling. She is going through the gamut of emotions right now.
Abby Gum looking like she's trying to lock up that second spot.
From Carroll. Or that was Wheaton, excuse me. Tiedemann finishes 2:19.67.
Tough way to do that after a 66-second opening lap.
That's roughly a second PR there as Abby Gum from Wheaton, Illinois finishes second, and the point tallies come up. So to give you perspective right now, a 2:19.800 gets you 828 points. So as we come into this final heat, Kennedy Gibbons had a 175-point lead over Hannah Zinkovich. 175-point difference is roughly 12 seconds, let's say. So that's what we have to watch here. The national championship on the line. We've seen it indoors. Kennedy Gibbons doesn't want this to happen again.
So a second is about 10 points. Is that an oversimplification?
A second?
Yeah.
Roughly, yeah, it looks like from 219 to 222.
A
It's
little more than 10 points per second.
38, yeah. So if that's the case, then, 175. We'll see if it's insurmountable or not, as we are not.
We're going to do our best.
We're going to do our best here. We
We're
have the
gonna do
live
our
results
best.
in front of us, so we will know. But Zankovic, the indoor national champion. And there's Aaron Pash in the DePaul Tiger Stripes, all our alma mater. The only time we will break our hometown spirit, the homerism.
Quick shout out to Greencastle, Indiana here.
Yeah, a great job by Erin Pash and her coach, Peter Crary. She worked specifically with Peter in the multi-events. Head coach Corey Stauffer, again, we just talked to him not too long ago, so it was great to see our coaches from college and those Tiger Stripes. Those Tiger Stripes are only brought out for regional cross-country and national meets. So you know it's important. You know it's a big race when the Tiger Stripes are out.
And they're probably 30, 40 years old at this point, too.
There are some new ones. All right, back to regular coverage. Thank you for entertaining us. Zankovic has to get out hard here and get distance on Kennedy Gibbons and put some pressure on her. That's what she did in indoors, kind of ran away from her as Erin Pash goes to the front, and Logan Bruce and Annie Gutierrez from Ithaca and Johns Hopkins follow suit.
Gibbons moves to the lead. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I got the purple.
That is Grace Alley from
Loris. I got the purple singlet confused.
Well, Mount Union's in black right now, but they are purple, so I can see that. But there is a Wisconsin lacrosse athlete moving up. That might be Skylar White. Yep. So Zankovic right there in the middle of your screen, right behind Johns Hopkins blue. At this point right now, Kennedy Gibbons is in enough striking distance to keep the national title. Skylar White from lacrosse continues to move up on the field here on the home stretch. Grace Alley in second, Aaron Pash in third, Logan Bruce and Annie Gutierrez in third and fourth, and Hannah Zankovic from lacrosse in sixth right now. But it's all about time as they come through a little bit slower than the first heat.
Pretty reasonable first lap. They should have some gas to pick it up there on the backstretch.
And there goes Aaron Pash right on cue. She's currently sixth. She was third indoors and looking to improve upon that finish right now. She wants to move past sixth place, and only way to do so is to beat these women and get a strong time. But Skylar White is right on her heels as well. Zankovic, Zankovic is moving away from Kennedy Gibbons. Kennedy Gibbons is losing some gas here as they have 200 meters to go.
It's going to be an interesting point total here, and we'll bring that to you as soon as we can. As we round the last turn, it's Aaron Pash in the lead of the second heat of the women's 800.
Aaron Pash is pulling for home. This is going to be – the results are going to go upside down here as Zankovic is gaining ground or moving ground on Kennedy Gibbons here, but Aaron Pash will take it. She's maybe get a negative split or even split in 800.
Yes.
She does.
Yep, slight negative
All right,
split actually.
on the clock now, so she's got a pretty big gap. Wait. Was Gibbons there the whole time?
Yeah,
You missed her?
she was in the pack.
Oh, I got confused. Another dark singlet. So it wasn't as crazy as I may have thought. So as the point tallies come, and we won't jump to any conclusions here as not everyone has their point total. We'll wait for them as it comes. But it looks like
Kennedy Gibbons 225.
Kennedy Gibbons was right there the whole time. I apologize for that missed call there.
Don't apologize for making it exciting.
If that is a very strong point total. Kennedy Gibbons, your national champion in the heptathlon, as all the points are now tallied. She only was off by 3 seconds of Hannah Zankovic. Her total right now is 52.44 over Zankovic in 51.01. 52.44 is tied for fifth all time.
Pretty cool moment for Kennedy Gibbons, locking it up in front of the home crowd here at the Spire Institute. That's got to feel really good.
Yeah, and redemption from indoors as we saw Zankovic overtake the win on the final 800. Maybe they did a little bit more 800 work this time around to ensure that she finishes strong. So the top 4 for you. We'll go through the top 8. Kennedy Gibbons, the national champion. Hannah Zankovic, runner-up. Annie Gutierrez from Johns Hopkins in 3rd. Erin Pash from DePauw in 4th. Logan Bruce of Ithaca in 5th. Grace Alley of Loris in 6th.
Look how tight the battle was. Sorry, Stu, I just interrupted you. But between 4th and 6th, it was only 11 points.
That's not the final tally.
That's not the final tally.
Nope. Brecken Vankenhoek of George Fox finishes 7th, and Skylar White of La Crosse finishes 8th.
No, you're right. I'm looking at it pre-800. Why is that not up?
You have to go to the full, right there. Just teach Noah how to use his computer.
It's called a laptop. Yeah.
These are your official top 8 finishes in the women's Heptathlon.
So big points there for La Crosse. They'll add 9 to their tally here. But tied for 5th all-time for Kennedy Gibbons. Skylar White, Hannah Zankovic are happy to be over with that 7 events over the weekend.
Finishing 4th with 5,014 points, Erin Pash from DePauw. Finishing 3rd with 5,016.
Round of applause for these women as they wrap up some hard work.
Yeah, they have to be excited to be done, get some Gatorade in them, and now some of them still have to compete. We saw Logan Bruce. That's brutal. We just saw her in the 100-meter hurdles, and now she had to go run an 800. She finished 5th overall, but will be in the final, I believe, for the 100-meter hurdles.
Yeah, the multi-events just never end for some of these athletes.
Yeah. There's Kevin Lucas, head coach of Mount Union with Kennedy Gibbons. Finally gets her national title, jumping up and down for the pictures. A big hug there from Annie Gutierrez of Johns Hopkins. They spent 2 days together over 7 events, so they sure know each other well and probably are hanging out and talking track and field this whole weekend.
Action just keeps rolling here. Our next event on the track is going to be the women's 400-meter prelims.
There's a good shot of Kennedy Gibbons there in front of the home crowd. Mount Union is not too far away from the Spire Institute. Some of these schools that are close by get to practice here for the year, which is a nice little advantage. I'm sure she's very familiar with Spire.
It's a beautiful facility. We're sitting up here over the track, and there's a wonderful indoor track behind us. But welcome back to the NCAA National Track and Field Championships here in Geneva, Ohio, as we look to the track and rejoin the action with the women's 400-meter prelims. We have Heat 1 on the track taking to their blocks now. We'll run you through their lane assignments here. In this field, Madison Mulder, Anna Flates, Andrea Lyon, Kennedy Mullen, Kayla Armstrong, Mara Schroeder, and Jackie Ganchert rounds out the field in lane 9.
Madison Mulder coming into this championship with the fastest seed time. She's run 54:57. She's also on that 4x4 as well for Senior Geneseo. Andrea Lyon, she was 15th outdoors in 2021, currently 6th right now. She'll look to improve upon that. But also keep your eye on Kayla Armstrong from Concordia University in Chicago. She was third in both the 200 and 400 in outdoors last year, and has been an All-American across 6 times in her career as well.
Yeah, Madison Mulder and Grace Devaney, who we'll see later, they're separated by 1/100th of a second, sitting at number 19 and 20th all-time, respectively. So that should be a cool battle. We'll get a little bit of a preview of that here in the prelim.
And don't count out Jackie Gainshirt. She was 6th indoors. A reminder, the winner from each heat plus the next 6 fastest will get to tomorrow's final.
They take to their blocks, and they'll stay in their lanes the whole way around.
Madison Mulder on the inside in lane 3. She'll be coming up on her teammate, Annie Flats from SUNY Geneseo. Kayla Armstrong in the middle there looking strong. As here comes Madison Mulder, a decisive move at the 150 mark to make up the stagger on her teammate. You'll see them come around this turn and get a better idea of where everyone stands, as the stagger is a little deceiving at first, but as they come into the home stretch, Kayla Armstrong will have a slight advantage, but will come even with Madison Mulder. But nope, Kayla Armstrong will continue to pull away here, get in the big Q. Madison Mulder in second.
Mulder with both hamstrings taped up.
54.45. 54.48 the official. Madison Mulder 55.06. A strong first prelim for Kayla Armstrong of Concordia in Chicago. That is a PR by 13.13 seconds.
Yeah, exceeds her qualifying mark by quite a bit, obviously.
So she'll be in tomorrow's final, and she'll wait to see who joins her. 55.06 from Madison Mulder. She's got a 4x4 already on her legs as well, and Andrea Lyon will have to watch the next 2 heats in anticipation.
Speaking of the next 2 heats, Heat 2 now standing behind their blocks. That's going to be Maria Grill, Susan Bansbach, Madison Miles, Nevaeh Lorjust, Molly Lodge, Alyssa Foudenhauer, Trinity Hayes, and Amanda Demko out in lane 9.
Yeah, Foudenhauer from Loris, Bainsbach from Rochester, Madison Miles, we saw that awesome leg from the 4x4. She's from Mountain Union. Demko from TCNJ, Trinity Hayes from RIC, Maria Grill from TCNJ, and Navia and Molly are both from Rowan.
Top seed time is Alyssa Foudenhauer from Loris in a 54.98. She's the only athlete in this field with a seed time under 55 seconds.
She's got a big weekend ahead of her as she's in the 4x1, 4x4. She qualified for the 2, and she's her indoor national champion in this event. Runner-up last year, so looking to get that big Q for tomorrow. And they're off here. Madison Miles, we saw her early, already make up the stagger there. And Susan Bainsbach from Rochester as well in the inside lanes. We'll get a better idea of where they stand here as they come up to the 200 mark. But Miles and Bainsbach on the inside. You know, Feidenauer is on the outside. Can't really see them until now as they probably come into her peripherals, as Madison Miles and Susan Bainsbach continue to come out front. And Feidenauer of Loris is going to have to turn on the jets here to get that big Q.
I think she heard you.
Yeah, she might have. Here comes Alyssa Feidenauer of Loris. A big weekend for her. The indoor national champion, looking to get that big Q for tomorrow. She's going to hang on here and get that done. Bainsbach second, Madison Miles third, 54-56.
They're cruising in these prelims.
It's going to take, 55-5 to get into the final, most likely. Maybe 55-6. We'll see.
Looks like our bubble time heading into the last heat is going to be 56.85.
Yeah, add another big Q in there and maybe two more under 55, under 56, and it's going to be a quick final. 5 hour gets the job done. She'll be in tomorrow's 4x1, 4x4, 400, and 200.
Oh, my.
Putting her team on her back there, but they have a great group. They're the indoor national champions. They won last year as well, so Loris getting the job done early. Well, not yet. Job's not finished.
Job's not finished. But you got to get the job done today to get the job done tomorrow.
You can't get points tomorrow if you don't get the job done today.
It's true.
All right, Heat 3. Lane 3, Lauren Phillips, Johns Hopkins. Lane 4, Mackenzie Mix, Utica. Lane 5, Grace Devaney, Wesleyan. Lane 6, Caitlin Hutchinson, Ithaca. Lane 7, Grace Maurer of Wisconsin Stout. Lane 8, Maddie LeBrun, St. Norbert. And in lane 9, Madeline O'Connell of Rochester. Keep your eye on lane 5 and lane 9. Devaney, as we mentioned, second right now in the nation. Madeline O'Connor is also on that Rochester 4x4. That's currently third in the nation. So hoping to see another quick time here. Also a fun fact for you, in lane 6, Caitlin Hutchinson, she'll be transferring, using her graduate. She's going to be a grad transfer at UK, going to the SEC after Ithaca.
You're seeing a lot of D1 transfers out of Division III this year as people wind up with more eligibility than they might have expected.
Yeah, I believe there's a little bit more graduate schooling in the Division I realm as the gun goes off.
And it does look like that we have a quick start, and this is the third heat of the women's preliminaries for the Good Dash. Once again,
and there's Devaney already making up the stagger in that red singlet. Hutchinson's in that white singlet. To give you perspective, Devaney is in lane 5, making up it on 6 and 7 as she moves her eyes onto lane 8 and 9, Maddie LeBrun and Madeline O'Connell.
Devaney continuing to make up the stagger. I think we'll see her come off the turn in first place.
Devaney followed by O'Connell and LeBrun, but Caitlin Hutchinson's moving up there to try to sneak into the third spot, but Devaney's going to take this decisively. O'Connell second, LeBrun third, 54-26. 54-23, she gets a little shaved off there. O'Connell 55-22, LeBrun 55-66.
Yeah, the track is fast today. These 400 women were absolutely flying.
Hey, what's that number 9 spot? What did I say earlier?
Okay.
55-79.
Yeah, 55-79. An excellent prediction from my teammate up here in the booth.
Just, educated guesses. Just kidding. We know what we're talking about up here. Wow, it's going to be an incredible final. 8 women under 56 seconds, led by Grace Devaney, Kayla Armstrong, and Alyssa Fadenauer of Loris with the big Qs. Susan Bainsbach, Madison Mulder, Madeline O'Connell, Madison Miles, Maddie LeBrun, and Andrea Lyon will all be in the final tomorrow. As the men get to their blocks, we're going to jump over to the field here and bring you an update from the women's high jump. So this was an interesting competition as all 3 of these women cleared 1.72 meters. The first person you saw there was Kimmy McPherson of MIT. The second person you saw was Grace Alley, and that was Brea Christopher of Wartburg. And you're wondering, if they all jumped 1.72 meters, how is Kimmy McPherson of MIT the champion? Well, in the high jump, it comes down to the least amount of misses before you hit that mark. And since they all hit the mark, only Kimmy McPherson missed on 1.69, where the other 2 had some scratches earlier. and they had 2 scratches on 1.72. So Kimmy McPherson comes away with the national title. Abigail Peterson from Bridgewater State in 4th, 1.69 meters. And there you see Brea Christopher and Grace Alley from Wartburg and Loris in 2nd and 3rd. They both compete in the American Rivers Conference in Iowa, so they are very familiar with each other. A great competition over there. Another field event athlete for MIT coming away with 10 points. We also saw Kennedy Gibbons get 7th there, and she won the heptathlon, so a busy weekend for her as well. And Grace Alley, she was 2nd and was 6th in the heptathlon. So, as we mentioned, these multi-athletes do a lot over the weekend.
And while the 400 fields get set, we're going to continue with the field action, and we're going to take you over to the men's high jump.
This is Brady Smith, I believe, of PSU Beyrand. He's currently sitting in a tie for 4th place. We're early into this competition here. The bar is set at 2.02 meters. For those that enjoy knowing marks in feet, that is 6 feet, 7.5 inches. Or maybe this is Brady Smith. Oh, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, it looks
Kind
like
of landed on his head weird.
more of a look at
That's from Eau
disappointment, I
Claire.
think, there. Wes Keller? Wes Keller from Eau Claire there.
Fans, if you would direct your attention towards the podium, we're about to award
I believe we're looking at Ernest Daniel from Rowan here.
for the NCAA DIII 22 Outdoor Track and Field Championships. These ladies in battle, so please give them a thunderous applause as we call their names.
All right, we're going to head over to the podium now as the heptathletes are on the field to receive their awards. A little drama unfolded as I misinterpreted who was who, as Skylar White of La Crosse receives her 8th place All-American award. That is Brecken Vanderroek of George Fox in 7th. Grace Alley in 6th of Loris. Logan Bruce of Ithaca in 5th. Erin Pash from DePaul will be 4th as she climbs up there, 3rd indoors with those tiger stripes.
They need to put some steps behind these podiums.
They just competed in 7 events. You're making them climb up here.
Look at that.
Annie Gutierrez of Johns Hopkins. Big points for them to try to get a trophy. Hannah Zankovich of Wisconsin La Crosse, national runner-up at the outdoor heptathlon. And your 2022 women's heptathlon national champion, Kennedy Gibbons of Mount Union. The big hug from her coach. Gets it done in front of her home crowd. I don't know if you can hear that on the stream or not, but the crowd went wild. They are very excited.
And once again, I want to thank Mount Union coach Andrew Milholm for helping us.
A nice crowd here at the Spire Institute, ready for day 2. We'll have the men's 400 up next.
One last Welcome back to the 2022 National Track and Field Championships for Division III. We are at the Spire Institute in Geneva, Ohio, and on the track is Heat 1 of the men's 400-meter prelims. Lane assignments on your screen there. Braxton Redmond, Jaden Sloan, Kyle Dickinson, DJ Anderson, David Bennett, Josh Jeffries, and Cal Wright from Concordia Moorhead take to the track, and they climb into their blocks. Stu, who are we looking for in this first heat of the men's 400 meter?
Yeah, we're treated to the national leader right now, DJ Anderson. He's looking to improve upon his runner-up performance indoors.
See him there in lane 6.
He's also on that Benedictine 4x1. He's had a big improvement as he was 9th last year, as we'll see what happened here.
Kyle Dickinson started in a standing start there.
Some people like blocks, some people don't. We'll see what's happening. I wonder, uh-oh. Oh, it's green card. We're okay.
Green card.
Green card for Kyle Dickinson out of Nebraska Wesleyan, Braxton Redmond out of Elmhurst, Jaden Sloan of McMurray, David Bennett's from UMass Dartmouth, Josh Jeffries, SUNY Delhi, and Cal Wright, Concordia Moorhead.
We'll climb back in here and try it again.
A lot of these guys, this is their first national meet. Josh Jeffries brings some indoor experience as he was 8th indoors. Kyle Dickinson was 8th last year. The rest, newbies.
We saw fast times in the women's prelims, and we'll hope to replicate that here as they have pretty good conditions. We'll see a little bit of a headwind on that back turn. We'll get a better idea of the standings here as they progress into the race.
But DJ Anderson making it up on those outside lanes. But Kyle Dickinson on the inside is going to have something to say about it. DJ Anderson, Kyle Dickinson here as we turn for home here. It's going to be even, 5 guys wide here, all in their lanes, but DJ Anderson with this slight advantage, showing that 100-meter speed from that 4x1. He's going to take the big cue as Cal Wright in the outside hopes to get second, but Kyle Dickinson looks to be the runner-up in the heat. 47, unofficially, 46.98. A little bit off of his seed time here, but we're seeing an indication that this could be a pretty fast prelims, which will make for a fast final.
A convincing win there from DJ Anderson, definitely setting the tone here.
That's big for Benedictine as they want to get some points for in tomorrow, as they came in on paper with 30 points. They get a little bit more as Matt Fleming finished 4th in the long jump. Unexpected points, but he's been an All-American, but he wasn't on paper coming into it. And that's why you come to the national meet. You can't compete on the entries, you compete in real life.
Absolutely. As we continue to paint the qualification picture, we go back to the track for Heat 2 of the men's 400 meters. Gordon Brown, Colin Cianciolo, JoJo Frost, Jared Storm, Rangel Miller, Luke Botsford, and Dallas Wright of Wartburg rounds out the field in lane 9.
Yeah, JoJo Frost from Dubuque is on that nation-leading 4x4. Dallas Wright, we've mentioned his name again. He's in that 400-meter hurdles. He was 2nd last year at this meet. He bounced back after he fell over the hurdles here. Rangel Miller from East Texas Baptist. That's his first NCAA meet, and we have the pleasure of being right behind his coaches as he is about to compete for the first time.
Yeah, Dallas Wright probably the most experienced athlete in this field for sure.
Don't count out Jared Storm from Mount Union. They are historically great in the 400 as he's already made up the stagger in that first 100 meters. He's coming into this meet 16th, so if he can get into the final, that's going to be some potential unexpected points for Mount Union as they've won some trophies in the past.
With a name like Storm, I mean, he's got to have a strong close here.
Yeah, he is storming, but look for lane 1 here, Jordan Brown or lane 2 there, Olivet making up the stagger on some of them else, but Jared Storm pulling away, but here comes Dallas Wright of Wartburg. He wants that big Q.
I think he'll get it.
It's going to be close here at the end, but Dallas Wright comes away with it. 46 high here. We'll get the official 46.74, 46.89 for Jared Storm. Rangel Miller 47.38. His coach right in front of us is fired up.
Crowd loves it.
Yep. I got to speak with them a little bit during the pre-meet. They're excited for Rangel Miller. That's big. 46.74 for Dallas Wright. That's another all-time performance. He's going to tie for 17th all-time. So he's tied for 17th all-time. DJ Anderson is 18th all-time. I wouldn't be surprised to see another all-time here in Heat 3 as Shaq Triori and Eric Gregory are going to be in this heat. Tyrell Pierce of Knox will be in lane 3. Eric Gregory, the 200-meter national record holder, will be in lane 4. Shaq Triori of Ramapo in lane 5. Matt McBride, Mount Union in lane 6. Kieran Sheridan of Senior Geneseo in 7. And Malik Pratt of Hardin Simmons in lane 8. There's a good shot at Gregory and Triori, both of whom will be in the national final for the 200. National record holder Gregory. Triori ran a quick 200 yesterday. I believe he's now 3rd all time if I remember right. And as mentioned, Gallaudet is a school for the deaf, and Eric Gregory holds the world record for deaf athletes. His coach there, kneeling down next to him, will help him know when to get set.
As we head into this final prelim, the bubble time is going to be 47.88 with some serious star power in this section. They're going to have their eyes on that time.
This is a loaded heat.
Yeah, the big Q is going to be hotly contested, but I imagine we'll see some time qualifiers from Heat 3 as well. See his coach make the hand signals there, and we are off clean in heat number 3.
A quick start for Shaq. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
That's Matt McBride of Mount Union. That happened, I believe, indoors as well, as they are moving through 200 meters here. Eric Gregory, the national 200-meter record holder, a slight advantage over Shaq Triori as they come into the home stretch here. He's got the inner lane, which helps, and they will push for home, and Triori's not done. But Gregory is slowly pulling away. Triori going with him.
They're going to run fast.
Triori trying to hunt him down for the big Q, but Eric Gregory, oh my,
Ooh.
oh my, 46.7.
Let's get the official time here, 46.17 on your
46.21. That is 9th all-time. 9th all-time for Eric Gregory, 46.55 for Shaq Triori. That will be 15th all-time.
Gregory breaking into the top 10 all-time in the prelim.
Tomorrow's wow. Tomorrow's final is going to be electric.
It took 47.6 to make it into the final. We'll run through your qualifiers here now that we've concluded the 3 heats of the men's 400 prelim. Eric Gregory, Dallas Wright, DJ Anderson all taking quality wins in the prelims. They get the big Qs. Shaq Triori, Jared Storm, Matt McBride, Rangel Miller, and Jordan Brown, Kyle Dickinson rounds out the field from Nebraska Wesleyan in lane 9. 47.66 is what it took to make the final at the national meet.
Wow.
As we move away from the track for a quick second, we are going to take you to a recap of the Heptathlon competition that we watched conclude just a few minutes ago.
And here are the hurdles here. This was yesterday. They had to flip the wind. There's Gibbons going over the high jump. She cleared 1.67 meters, and she won that event in the Hep. Here she is now competing in the shot put. She threw 11.33 meters, also was #1 in the event, so doing some work to get high point totals. And here she is running away from the field in the 200. She ran a 24.93, which could qualify her, a little bit of an illegal win there, but she could qualify for the final tomorrow. And there's a recap of there, hugging her coach, getting the trophy. Kennedy Gibbons of Mountain Union, your national champion.
Top 4 on your screen, Kennedy Gibbons, as we mentioned, taking the national championship. Hannah Zinkovich in 2nd, Annie Gutierrez in 3rd, and Erin Pash of DePaul finishing 4th with 5,014 points.
And my apologies. It was not Matt McBride that went down from Mountain Union, so Mountain Union fans make a sigh of relief. That was Malik Pratt of Hardin Simmons who went down there in that final heat of the 400. Not Matt McBride. Matt McBride is in the final. No, who is in the final for that 400? Well, I'll tell you since I have it pulled up here. Eric Gregory, 46.21, a big Q. Dallas Wright, 46.74, a big Q. DJ Anderson, 46.98, the big Q. Shek Triori, 46.55 from Ramapo. Jared Storm of Mountain Union, 46.89. Matt McBride, Mountain Union, 47.04. Rangel Miller, East Texas Baptist, 47.38. And Jordan Brown of Olivet, 47.52. And round out the field, Kyle Dickinson of Nebraska Wesleyan with a run of 47.66 seconds. We're going to move over back to the high jump to get you up to speed on what's going on over there. They are up to now 2.05 meters. 9 athletes remain. 4 athletes have already cleared 2.05. Mountain Union is putting together a meet right here. They just got 2 athletes into the 400 that I don't believe. Oh, I know one of them was not ranked. Yeah, both were 15th and 16th. So now they have 2 in the final, which were unexpected points. They have 2 in the high jump that are still going on. They'll have a 4x4 tomorrow. So Mountain Union putting in some work here on day 2.
We've just adjusted the bar. Thumbs up from the officials. And so we should see an athlete come into your screen and try to hop over that bar here any second.
Yep, it looks like it will be Samuel Hetrick of Penn State Behrend.
I'm not sure that's right. It's kind of been stuck on him for a while.
Has it? I think it's a little hard to do some live results on the high jump. That's a red singlet there.
Was that our leader Sam Beatty there?
That could be that Central College. Or that could be Sam Beatty.
Lane number 3, Adelia Coleman, Bridgewater, Virginia. Adelia finished 3rd in this event in 2020.
And then to get you up to speed, there's Kyle Rollins, the indoor national champion from St. John Fisher, clearing the bar. So now we have 5 athletes over 2.05. Welcome back to the D3 Track and Field National Championships. The 100-meter dash is now in the blocks. Lane 2, Allison Beeman of Dubuque. Lane 3, Adalia Coleman of Bridgewater. Lane 4, Chisholm Bright Oswego of East Texas Baptist. Jasmine Crawford, Whittier. Katie Nippert, WPI. Micah Clay, WashU, and Isabel Hogue, Nebraska Wesleyan.
Isabella Hogue coming in here as your top seed. Oh, and they're off.
Isabella Hogue running away from the field here. She already ran a strong 200, 11:74. We'll see the wind here. 1.9, so it is a legal wind. I know that's going to be an all-time time. We'll let you know where she falls, but that's another big cue for Isabella Hogue. The indoor 60-meter champion, Adalia Coleman, 11:98. That'll hopefully get her in, as this was a deep field. It took 12 seconds even to get into the meet right now. Isabella Hogue, after a massive 200, comes back and runs the 8th fastest time in D3 history with the legal wind. Gives a little shimmy there. She's having an awesome weekend. 5th best ever in the 200, now the 7th best ever in the 100. Moving right along to the second heat here as they get ready. Lane 2, Caitlin Gamble, Washington Lee. Kennedy Waite of Mount Union in 3. Audrey McCope of St. Norbert in 4. Samantha Giordani of Carnegie Mellon. Melissa Lindsay, Connecticut College. North Carolina Wesleyan's Mariah Brooks will be in 7, and Kira Tan of Williams will be in 8.
I've been talking about depth a lot over the course of these championships. This is the most competitive field ever assembled in the 100 meters on the women's side at the national championship meet. The fastest qualifying times we've ever seen.
Yeah, and now we're treated to the #1 seed in the country coming into this meet is Melissa Lindsay from Connecticut College. She was 18th in the indoor meet in the 200, and she turned it on. She changed her strategy in terms of how she viewed running and how she viewed sprinting, and took it to the next level, has that winner's mentality, and she'll be in the final of the 200 tomorrow as well, hoping to add the 100-meter here as well.
We'll watch her in lane 6.
They're off. That's on the outside, Kira Tan.
Not a great start for Lindsay, but she's making up some ground here now.
They are even, but Lindsay, here she is. She told me 11:84 maybe, 11:85. Let's see what the official is here. 11:85, Melissa Lindsay. She told me before the meet that her first 50 isn't the best. She loves to close and come from behind, as we saw right there. She gets comfortable with being able to see people and chase them down, as we see her congratulate her coaches and teammates. Caitlin Gamble, Washington Lee in 2nd. Samantha Giordani of Carnegie Mellon in 3rd.
Sure, that's a stressful way for her coach to watch a race, but we all have our styles.
Yeah. The shoes are already off, preparing for tomorrow's final 200, 100, hoping to go for the double. But Isabella Hogue, 11:74, Melissa Lindsay, 11:85, your top 2 seeds right now in your first 2 big cues into tomorrow. There's Micah Clay from WashU.
Heading into this third heat, 12:01 is the bubble time from Chisholm Bright Oswego from East Texas Baptist.
Moving into heat 3 now. In lane 2, Kendra Schumacher, Wisconsin Lutheran. Lane 3, Michelle Waffo of Coast Guard. Lane 4, Gwen Orr, Wisconsin Platteville. Catherine Pollock of WPI in 5. Alexandra Ackerman, Redlands in 6. Lauren Gay of WashU in 7. Bailey Forsyth of Pacific Lutheran in 8. And Keon Benjamin of Bowdoin in 9.
While Lauren Gay comes in with the fastest qualifying time in this prelim, Bailey Forsyth is your defending 100-meter champion. Didn't come in with a blazing fast time, but she's the champion. She has experience. You'll see her in that outside lane, lane number 8. Did you catch the wind on that last heat?
It was minimal, like
Nice.
point 0.4 maybe.
Yeah, it looks to be a bit of a crosswind on the athletes here, but a lot of that is going to be blocked by the stadium as they go by.
If there's no wind, we could see the 100-meter record go down in the next heat from the men.
We're going to be seeing a lot of records over the next couple
But
days.
let's
I think.
focus on these women.
But we're focusing on this women's 100, the final prelim.
They're off here. Coming by us, Bailey Forsyth, and in lane 9 seem to be even, but Forsyth takes it. Or is it Keon Benjamin there?
Forsyth,
Yep.
11.86.
Big Q. On to tomorrow's final. Last year's national champion will try to repeat, and we may see a sub-12 final here. We'll get you the full qualifiers in a second.
Whoa, very close, Stu. Very close.
I didn't even see it before I did.
Looks like
before I
the
said
last
that.
qualifying time and on time is going to be 12 flat.
So put this into perspective. It took 12 flat to make it to this meet, and now it took 12 flat to get to the final. So I guess that's still pretty strong.
Still pretty strong.
Yeah.
We'll run you through the list of qualifiers
In
here.
my head, it sounded more impressive.
It's still impressive, Stu.
Yes.
We're all very impressed. With the big Qs, your heat champions, Isabella Hogue, Melissa Lindsay, and Bailey Forsyth. Getting in on time, Caitlin Gamble, Keani Benjamin, Adalia Coleman, Samantha Giordani, Kennedy Waite, and Mariah Brooks is your final qualifier. 12 flat is what it took to get here. Chisholm Bright Osigwe just misses it with a 12.01.
And now we'll switch our attention to the men's 100-meter dash. You know, oh, wait, they fixed it. Kennedy Waite is out of the final. Adalia Coleman and Samantha Giordani now tie for the 9th place at 11:98.
So it is sub-12.
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 Here we go. There you see JP Vaught still in his sweats after yesterday's championship record in the 100-meter dash. Current record in the men's 100 is 11:18. JP has his eyes on that. He's coming into it third all-time with a legal wind, 10:21. Also in the heat, in lane 3, Robert Agbuli of Robert Agbuli of Wisconsin Oshkosh, Matthew Lighton of Bridgewater State, Shamar Love of Westminster, Pennsylvania, Aaron Richardson, Wisconsin Oshkosh, Cade Van Hout, Wisconsin Platteville, and JP Vaught will be the closest on your screen in lane 8. Wisconsin Oshkosh has 2 guys in this heat, 1 guy in the next heat, but there's 5 total athletes from the WIAC. They had a crazy fast final there at their championship, the conference race, where we saw Sam Blaskowski run 10:14 with a 3.9 wind. So still a blazing time, but a massive tailwind to aid him. We'll see him later on. But yeah, JP 10:21 coming into this right now, but he has got a great seed draw, as he'll have Cade Van Hout of Wisconsin Platteville right next to him, who's run 10:29, but that was in that WIAC final where it was that 3.9 meter per second wind. So we'll see. The wind is calm. We saw that in the 100. JP's confident. He's running well. 20.64 yesterday in that prelim of the 200. He'll look to repeat as.
And we'll be right back with that men's 100-meter prelim in Heat 1. Welcome back to the Spire Institute. We're here with the 2022 NCAA Division III Track and Field National Championships. We rejoin action on the track where we have the fast men, the men's 100-meter prelims, taking to the track now as they do their final strides we'll run through those lane assignments for you one more time.
Yeah, if this is anything like the women's, we're going to see some fast times as the wind was calm and legal. In lane 3 from Wisconsin Oshkosh, Robert Agbuli. In lane 4 from Bridgewater State, Matthew Lighton. In lane 5 from Westminster, Pennsylvania, Shamar Love. Lane 6, Aaron Richardson of Wisconsin Oshkosh. Cade Van Hout from Wisconsin Platteville will be in lane 7, and JP Vaught from Center will be in lane 8. You see there on the track right now warming up is Jalen Grant from Wisconsin Oshkosh. They'll have 3 guys here in this prelims. The WIAC conference in general has 5 guys from that conference final where the wind was blowing. So they have some speed in the WIAC, and we're going to see that now on the national stage in front of everyone here at the Spire Institute. Everyone has now crowded the grandstand, waiting to see what is going to happen for this 100-meter prelim. Isabella Hogue just ran the 7th fastest time ever, I believe I mentioned, in the 100, and now we get to see what the men can do. JP Vaught currently 3rd all-time right now. Talking to him before this, after he broke that 200-meter record, which was then rebroken by Eric Gregory, he's thinking 10-1.
Yeah.
He didn't give what the 100th would be, but he's saying 10-1 at least.
The track is definitely running fast. I mean, a lot of times you think a prelim is just a prelim, but these guys are definitely out for speed here. It's not just about qualification, because to qualify, you're going to have to go really, really quick. This is the deepest field we've ever seen at a Division III national championship. These guys know it, and they're not taking the prelim for granted.
Yeah, as we mentioned, 10:49 was the last time in, and it came down to their second best time. So there are some 10:49 guys at home. There are some 10:5 guys at home as well, which is just ridiculous. 10:5 can be an All-American, and now you're at home, and just shows the depth in which D3 is. And when you're looking at colleges for your high school athlete, like, don't overlook these schools. Go where the best fit is. These guys are running fast regardless of the division, and we're going to see it now on the main stage, prelim number 1.
It'll be fun to follow next year too, as these guys who are sitting at home kind of come back with a vengeance, not wanting to miss out again. But these gentlemen climb into their blocks. JP Vaught, the defending national champion in this event, in that outside lane.
10:18, the current national record. And they're off. Ooh, a rough start for JP, but he begins to close down on the field. He'll take the big key. Look at the clock now.
See if they adjust at 10:38 on your screen now. And we stay at 10:38. JP Vaught with the big Q. Robert Ogboli will be the first looking through to get on time at a 10:57.
Light work for JP there, as he'll be looking to repeat as the double champion tomorrow in the 100, 200. Wisconsin Oshkosh sitting there in 2 and 3. Now they'll have to watch the clock as 2 more heats come up next.
In that second heat, we'll run you through those lane assignments. Jamari Spivery, Kevin Arthur, Derek Plitt, Parnell Shands, Sam Blaskowski, Jalen Grant, and Jeremiah Steed.
Lane 3 from St. John's of Minnesota, Kevin Arthur. Lane 4 from Adrian. He is a runner-up in the indoor 60s this spring.
In this heat, we'll get to see Sam Blaskowski in the middle of the screen in lane 6 there. As mentioned, he ran 10:14, pretty heavy wind. He ran 20:80 with some heavy wind as well in the regular season. He's into tomorrow's 200-meter final here. Also to look out for is Jeremiah Steed. He is on that Dubuque 4x1 team, but also in the outside of the lanes in lane 7, Jalen Grant, last year's national runner-up, also on that 4x1 as well. That is 5th all-time. He'll look to get to the final tomorrow. So it's setting the stage here. Jamari Spivey of North Central had to run a last chance meets to get into this race. He ran 10:48 to get in. And then Derek Plitt, we saw him yesterday in the 200 As a reminder, he was the 200-meter indoor runner-up indoors and was 4th outdoors last year in the 200.
Sam Blaskowski in there is the 2nd all-time in all conditions. We saw him practicing his reaction time. Maybe you noticed it in the back of your screen in that previous prelim, but he's going to be ready to roll here.
Kevin Arthur from St. John's, he'll be on that 4x1 team as well. He qualified on the last day to get here.
And we're off. Blaskowski off to a strong start in the middle there.
Jalen Grant right with him, but Spivey in lane 2 on the outside. Let's see who gets the big Q. There's close call. 10:55 for Blaskowski, 1.1 wind. Spivey 10.56. Jalen Grant 10.59. Those top 3. As we compile it now, we'll see that the bubble time will be 10:67 right now from Shamar Love of Westminster.
Those camera guys are in a precarious spot down there. They don't seem far enough back. They're still going full speed when they get into them.
Watch out, Kyle. We have Kyle working for us this weekend. Kyle Laufenberger from Lynchburg College. He's getting us some great shots here as we move to heat number 3.
Yeah, stay safe out there, Kyle. Elijah Johnson from Eastern Mennonite. Markel Raymond Hill from Redlands. Nikhil Harris from SUNY Delhi. CJ Anderson, Greenville. Derek Jackson from Knox. Detavion Lewis, East Texas Baptist, and Brandon Powell, also from East Texas Baptist, rounds out the field.
So a little bit of controversy here earlier in the year from Derek Jackson. He'll be in lane 6. Not so much controversy, so much so, he broke the D3 record running 10:17. However, the Coaches Association, the one that decides records and kind of keeps the general record book, deemed it a questionable mark. So right now, while it is the fastest time because it had a legal win, they are not qualifying it as a national record. There were some other circumstances I think that maybe is preventing it from being a record. We're not entirely sure, but for a little bit there, Derek Jackson was your 100-meter record until they called it back. But watch for Nikhil Harris out of SUNY Delhi in lane 4. He ran 10:49 last year. He was 16th in the 60-meter indoors, so he's going to come back looking for a vengeance here, and he's 5th right now heading into this meet.
You have to imagine Jackson is feeling really motivated to validate that record.
Oh, yeah. He'll be in lane 6 in the purple singlet. Nikhil Harris in 4 in the green.
That would make him warmer. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know. Do you want me to do that?
And they're off.
Harris and Jackson both off strong. It looks like it's going to be a race between those two. Jackson with the edge heading towards the finish.
It's Harris.
Oh, Harris, I'm sorry, heading with the edge heading towards the finish line.
Nikhil Harris, 10:36, gets the big Q.
Nice win there.
Derek Jackson, 10:58. So all the big names that we were talking about earlier look to collide tomorrow in the final. We'll run you through them right here. Nikhil Harris with the fastest time of the day, 10:36. JP Vaught, 10:38. Sam Blaskowski of Wisconsin Lacrosse, 10:55 with the final big Q. Jamari Spivey of North Central, 10:56. Robert Agbuli of Wisconsin Oshkosh, 10:57. Derek Jackson, Knox, 10:58. Jalen Grant and Aaron Richardson, 10:59, 10:61, both from Wisconsin Oshkosh. And Cade Van Hout of Platteville, 10:62. We'll have 5 guys from the WIAC in tomorrow's final as we go to the podium for the women's shot put.
J.E. Barr of Center and Nikhil Harris of State University, New York, Delhi.
You can see your All-Americans on the screen there.
We now turn our attention to the podium for the top 8 in the NCAA.
Sitting in 8th is Rebecca Simpson from Buena Vista.
In 8th place today,
They're announcing her name over the loudspeaker now as she steps up onto the podium
to receive her All-American award. Brenna Noon from Wisconsin Platteville in 7th. Gets to hug her coach as her teammate is the national champion, as you can see there.
2 All-Americans in one team, pretty good in one event. Anna Capoe from Gustavus Adolphus steps up to claim the 6th place trophy.
Alexis Boykin of MIT in 5th.
in 4th position today with a 14.58 meter throw.
Skylar Bartholomews from WPI takes the 4th place trophy.
Your top 3.
Megan Parker from Westminster climbs aboard to claim the 3rd place trophy.
And we keep Westminster's bringing a crew here.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
Your runner-up and winning shot.
Taking the 2nd place spot, Katie Fobe from Wisconsin Eau Claire. And your national champion from Wisconsin Platteville, Brianna Lee.
She threw 15.6, which is a PR, and moves her to 6th all-time. Nice to throw a PR to win a national title. We've seen that quite a few in the field events where you have a PR and you win a national title. It's a great way to end the season. You do something right.
And as they pose for pictures, we'll take you back to a quick recap so you can see how it all went down.
(15.60) for Brianna Lee. There you can see the WIAC contingent there, 2 from Platteville, 1 and here's the toss.
Beautiful conditions out there on the throws.
She's fired up when she sees that what the mark will be, 15.60. It's always great to see when the throwers know they got a hold of one as they celebrate, and the crowd knows it as well.
They seem to know before the ball even hits the ground, the shot put even hits the ground.
Yeah, speaking with Sky Digman here, who finished 9th, as you can see there, the top 4, Skylar Bartholomews from WPI, Megan Parker of Westminster, Katie Fobb of Wisconsin Eau Claire, and Brianna Leahy of Wisconsin Platteville. But speaking with Bram Miller and Sky Digman before the competition, they kind of say like there's a release when you have your fingers flick. You can kind of tell when it feels fairly good. So that's where you get that excitement from. They know the feeling of a big throw, and the crowd knows it too. We're going to move now. As you can see here, the women's 800 meters are coming onto the track. We're going to have 3 heats for you coming up here as we go back to the mid-distance events. And I know we've been in the sprint, so I'll catch you up on what needs to be happen here to order to qualify for tomorrow's 800-meter final. So it'll be the top 2 from each heat plus the next 3 fastest to the final. So you want to be in the top 2 or the next 3 fastest. So not a lot of wiggle room here where we've seen 6 times get in. They're only taking 9, as I mentioned. There's 9 lanes. The 800 is contested in lanes here. They will stay in their lane until the first 100 meters, and you can see the cones over. You'll be able to see the cones is where they cut in. But towing the line in this section, in this next heat, will be Cassie Kearney. But someone we want to talk to first before we talk about Cassie and how she is the first seed heading into tomorrow's 1500-meter final is Esther Sealand here. She hasn't lost an 800-meter final in quite some time. She's won in 2019 outdoor. She won 2021 outdoor and 2022 indoor. She's got a personal best of 2:02. And she'll be transferring to Virginia to use her outdoor eligibility remaining for graduate school. And she's going to be taking on the first time she's doing the 15-8 double, and she currently sits all time in the top 3.
Remarkable depth in this event, as we have 6 women who have gone under 210. Not in this first prelim, but over the course of the 3 prelims, we'll see all those women take to the line.
Yeah, in this first one, Esther Tillman is second, by the way. Cassie Kearney will be in lane 3. Elise Lambert of Bates in lane 4. Delaney Saul of Calvin in 5. Alexandra Maddox of Hamlin in 6. Maya Ordonez of UChicago in 7. Zanzi Demko of Oshkosh in 8. And Tessa Dugan of SUNY Geneseo will be in 9. Keep your eye on Cassie Kearney. I mean, this is a pretty loaded field here, but Cassie Kearney is the leader headed into tomorrow's 1,500-meter final. Zanzi Demko will join her as well. Zanzi's run 2:10. Cassie's run 2:08. And also Delaney Saul of Calvin. She was 8th indoors and has a PR of 2:09.
We saw some fast times in the 400-meter prelims, and let's see if that spills over into the 800.
Uh-oh.
False start?
So Cassie Kearney is looking to improve upon her 10th place finish from 2019.
Green card, we're all good.
We're all good, thankfully. That's the second time she's given a green card. She's been very generous this weekend.
Yeah, with a green card with a smile.
Yeah, I think she had to clarify that you're okay when you get a green card there.
That would be devastating to be disqualified for a false start in the 800.
Yeah, that is lane 5. That's Delaney Saul of Calvin. Zanzi Demko was 6th in this event outdoors last year. And they're off. Clean start this time around. It's going to be interesting. Usually you don't really see a tactical 800. It's kind of hard to negative split an 800 as it's a controlled sprint, in my opinion, for about 2 minutes or so. As they cut in now, you want to make sure you're getting good position. And all of them are taking strong tangents. You don't want to be cutting right over and wasting energy as they kind of gradually get to lane 1 as they hit the 200-meter mark in roughly 30 seconds.
Looks like Kearney kind of ended up right in the middle of the pack there.
And that's Maya Ordonez from UChicago taking things out right now with Zanzi Demko of Oshkosh right behind her, and Tess Dugan of SUNY Geneseo. Yeah, Cassie Kearney, Delaney Saul now moving up, and Calvin on the outside there in that maroon, putting herself into contention. As a reminder, as they come up to the bell lap, top 2 get to tomorrow's final, and the next 3 fastest will join them.
We'll get an official first lap split for you here. Looks like it's 63.86. Maya Ordonez takes him through the first lap.
An honest first lap here. Given that there's only 3 time qualifiers and you're in the first heat, you can't control anything that happens later on. You don't get to see time, so you want to set the standard early. You want to make sure that you are in, whether you're top 2 or top 3, as Cassie Kearney takes the lead here with 200 meters to go, followed by Zanzi Demko and Delaney Saul.
Yeah, absolutely want to leave nothing to chance here. Kearney putting herself in a good position to either take the big cue or keep the hammer down and set a fast time.
All 3 of these women have experience at the national meet and want to continue their weekend here tomorrow, as it's going to be a battle for that final big cue. All 3 still relatively close together, as Delaney Saul has a slight advantage of Zanzi Demko with 50 meters remaining. But we're going to see a strong first time here in this first heat. It's going to be sub 2:10 just by how much. 2:08 unofficially will get you that official split, but Cassie Kearney, Middlebury, Delaney Saul, Calvin, Zanzi Demko of Oshkosh, your top 3, kind of setting the stage here for potential sub 2:10 to get into tomorrow's final.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first prelim, you want to go out and you want to make sure that it's not tactical. And if you make sure your race is fast, you're also guaranteeing that the next 2 prelims are not going to be tactical either. So no one's going to get a free ride into this final.
Yeah, you don't want to rely on a 200-meter kick and an 800 to decide your fate for tomorrow's final. Best to go from the gun and just recover as best you can for tomorrow. So a strong first heat here, as You can see there your top 2 qualifiers, Cassie Kearney and Delaney Saul, getting some water. It's a little hot out here today, a little bit hotter than yesterday, but this favors some of these sprints and mid-distance events as Heat 2 takes to the track. In lane 3, Reagan Jansen of Nebraska Wesleyan, Maeve Hoffman of Wesleyan in 4, Sydney Packard of WPI in 5, Esther Seeland of Messiah in 6, Allison Ull of TCNJ in 7, Nikki Johnson of Middlebury in 8, and Ophi Dunn of Wash U in 9.
The story of this prelim is Esther Seeland. We've mentioned her before. She's your 2021 Outdoor National Champion. She'll look here to defend. She was your indoor champion as well, and she enters this race with a 2:03 seed time.
And they're off, and someone...
Another false start.
Oh, man. Keep being generous, please.
Yeah, let's get that green card out.
What is...
This official getting some serious screen time here at the National Championship.
They better have enough... Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the green card. A little antsy on the line. That's how you know they're looking to take it out fast.
That is Allison Ull of TCNJ with the green card. Delaney Saul had... Maybe that's a sign of good luck. Delaney Saul had the green card, and she got the big Q. We'll see. Is there a correlation to having a green card? Causation or correlation? And they're off here. You know, someone else to call out here is Sydney Packard of WPI. Indoors in 2020, she had the leading time, and until COVID canceled the championship. So it's good to see. We might have had a break. A yellow flag is up. Can't tell what lane it's going to be, and it looks like it's the... Oh, he's just getting the cones.
He's just getting the cones. We'll
but there's a yellow flag, so there might be an infraction there on cutting over. As mentioned, once you hit the cones, you have to wait till the cones are cut over, as Allison Ull of TCNJ is leading the group out right now at the 300-meter mark.
After this race, maybe we can get a replay of that break on that far turn.
We don't want to rat the person out.
That's true. That's true.
As Nikki Johnson of Middlebury takes over now. She saw her teammate get the big Q, but here comes Ophi Dunn of Wash U moving up, and there is Esther Seeland right in the thick of it here.
Looking comfortable in that third position. She's got a busy weekend ahead of her too, so she wants to qualify but doesn't want to overextend herself in a prelim.
63 low for this group, so similar to the first heat, as Nikki Johnson continues to lead here. Nikki Johnson and Dunn from Wash U, Esther Seeland and Sydney Packard, your top 4 right now. Allison Ull and Reagan Jensen still all in it. So we have 6 women who are all still in contention to get a big Q.
All moving up.
As Esther Seeland now takes over. Esther Seeland asserting her dominance here on the 800, running a well-tactical race going through in 63. She should feel fairly comfortable going through that pace as her PR is 2:02.
She gets a couple meter gap pretty easily there as we enter the home stretch.
That's Nikki Johnson and Allison Ull. But Reagan Jansen of Nebraska Wesleyan fighting for that final big Q spot as Esther Seeland's looking around, gives a smile. It's going to be a battle there for second, and it looks like Reagan Jansen at the line, but 2 other women will go under 2:10. Esther Seeland, Reagan Jansen, followed by Nikki Johnson, and Allison Ull, 2:10.10. That currently is the next fastest time.
We're going to take you back to that first turn. We saw that yellow flag go up. We just want to see if anything stands out to us here.
Hard to tell who is in. Oh, that was before the cones. So it's hard to tell. That was a little bit after the cones there. So hard to tell who it's going to be. We'll see in the notes there in the live results. But definitely someone cut in a little too early. I wonder if it's up on the live results yet.
We'll keep an eye on that and get you guys a report as soon as we hear something.
But moving on, you can see just the toll an 800 takes. Everyone on the ground. Some fast prelims here as they've already gone for Heat 3.
Oh, wow.
So in this race, in lane 2, Ali Sarusi. In lane 3, Margaret Trotner. Emma Kelly in 4. Hannah Nelson in 5. Kelty Oster in 6. Paige Fossbender in 7. Rose Tesler in 8, and Elizabeth Donnelly in 9, as Emma Kelly and Hannah Nealon from Tufts are 1-2 right now. Emma Kelly coming into the championships with the 3rd fastest time and goes straight to the lead. She's not messing around.
She was your runner-up indoors, breaking 2:10 on a tight track.
Yeah, we've seen her already this weekend running the 4x4, so now she's in the 800. She has a guaranteed race tomorrow, but she wants to see another one as they are moving with her teammate Ali Sarusi into 3rd, Hannah Nealons of Tufts in 2nd right now.
Get your first lap split here.
They're going to be a little bit quicker here. They know what the time is, a little advantage here in the last
61 high or so will get you an official split.
They have the clear advantage being heat 3.
62.07.
Yep, so almost a full second faster in that second heat at least, as Emma Kelly continues to lead Hannah Nealon of Tufts and her teammate Ali Sarusi, but Elizabeth Donnelly of Gustavus Adolphus is moving up into the field as well. We see Kelty Ulster. Emma Kelly continues to lead as Ali Sarusi and her teammate are trying to get 2 WashU runners as Elizabeth Donnelly goes into 2nd. Margaret Trotner of Caltech has a 2:08 PR. 100 meters to go. Emma Kelly looks around. She sees she's clear.
Sarusi in a tough spot, having to go wide around that turn.
As Margaret Trotner, Emma Kelly looking good here to get in the big Q. It's going to come down to a little kick here. Elizabeth Donnelly, Margaret Trotner, who will get the final Q? Hard to tell there at the line. We'll see Emma Kelly, 2:09.11. Elizabeth Donnelly, Margaret Trotner. Yep, we're all going to see a sub 2:10 final, I believe. We will.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, pending who got the infraction there.
Yeah, we'll run you through the list of qualifiers, a bit of an asterisk
until we figure it out.
Until we totally figure it out. But with big Qs, Cassie Kearney, Middlebury, FC Lynn, Messiah, and Kelly, WashU, Delaney Saul, Calvin, Reagan Jansen, Nebraska Wesleyan, Elizabeth Donnelly, Gustavus Adolphus, and then your small Qs, Zanzi Demko of Wisconsin, Oshkosh, Nikki Johnson, Middlebury, Margaret Trotner of Caltech. The final time in 2:09.97, sub 2:10 to make tomorrow's final in the women's 800 meters.
Nikki Johnson, Mulberry. Zanzi Demko, Wisconsin, Oshkosh. Elizabeth Donnelly.
WashU women there had 3 in this prelim.
Reagan Jansen, Nebraska Wesleyan.
Only 1 making it to the final, so a bit of a missed opportunity there. It's still great to qualify for the national meet with such a strong squad.
And Casey Kearney from Middlebury turned in the fastest qualifying time. Her time, 2:08.50 seconds.
Next on the track will be the men's 800. Here as they get some of their final runouts. Still no update yet on what happened or the infraction.
We'll bring you an update when we can. Switching over to the men's, another year where just the depth has been insane. We saw 7 men go under that 150 barrier, kind of that magic barrier in Division III 800 running. So 7 men come in with a 140-something PR.
Yeah, they're led out by Mike Jasa of Loras College. He was on that 4x8 that set the D3 national record. However, while we've been mentioning some of the fastest ever to qualify, while this depth is impressive, maybe up front, but it's not, this isn't the hardest year it has been to qualify like it was for the 1500 here. So we're going to see a lot of fast times here in this men's 800 prelim as they look to secure a spot in tomorrow's final.
We watched the men's 1500 meter prelim yesterday, and that was kind of a shocking series of events as none of the favorites really qualified. We'll see if that spills over into the men's 800 meters.
Yeah, to give you an idea of who that top 4 is right now, you're looking at Mike Jasa, 148.7, Tucker Cargile, 148.89, Tor Hotung Davidson, 149.04, and Ben Kuxman, 149.19. You see Mike Jasa there in the purple from Loris. He's going to be in heat number 3, so he'll get to see everyone run, and he'll know what he'll need to do to get to the final. Backward hat count, no, we're up to 7 now.
Nice, love it. Definitely some guys in here who we saw indoors. 7th indoors with Benjamin Stevies.
I'll run through who's in this heat before we give some qualifying stats for you. In lane 3, Timothy Boyce of St. Lawrence. In lane 4, Tor Hotong Davidson of Lynchburg. Dalton Martin in 5 from Wartburg. Ben Kuxman of Milliken in 6. Levi Killian of Ohio Wesleyan in 7. And Benjamin Steves of WPI in 8.
Hotong Davidson from Lynchburg. He was 6th place indoors. You'll see him in a red singlet.
Kuxman was 3rd last year outdoors and was 3rd indoors this year, so he's looking to improve a little bit, but he does have some big competition as well. Dalton Martin was the last day qualifier. He was 17th in 2021 and also in that 4x4, so he'll have some wheels here. Timothy Boyce is the true freshman. He was 9th indoors, so that first guy out, if he's 9th today, he's in to the final.
Stu, do you want to make your prediction for the last time in?
Last time in, ooh. Let me see how this first, no, I'll give it a 150.1.
150.1?
No, it's going to go slower than that. It'll go like 151.2.
I'm going to say everybody makes it in a sub 151.
We'll see what this first heat. If they go up fast, we'll get an idea here. It's always hard to tell what the 800s will do, because you can either, you don't want a negative split 800. That's a little hard, but
2 styles to run an 800, right? You have the hard charge from the front, and you have the kickers, because it's kind of that in-between event who are going to lay back and really look for a fast last 200.
Well, if the men are anything like the women, we're going to see some fast times, as it took sub 210 to get into tomorrow's final.
A little bit of jostling there from Tor.
As 2:10.56 was number 9 qualifying in. So what a second faster than what it took to get in, as Ben Kuxman takes the lead. He's not messing around. He wants that big Q.
Martin in kind of a difficult position. He ran that whole turn in lane 2.
And he's still kind of in lane 2, as Levi Killian and Benjamin Steves 2-3 as they come through in about 55 seconds here.
54.8 first lap for Ben Kuxman.
54.8.
Benjamin Steves now challenging up into 2nd.
They're moving Ben Kuxman, Benjamin Steves, and here comes Tor Hotong Davidson of Lynchburg. Remember, top 2 gets you into tomorrow's final.
Kuxman's still pressing that advantage. He's grown it from 2 to maybe 5-6 meters.
He's not messing around. He has experience at national meets. He knows what it takes to get to the final, as Tor Hotong Davidson moves into 2nd. But Kuxman extends his lead here. But Hotong Davidson, 149.04 his PR. Kuxman takes a look back, sees that he has plenty of room to get into tomorrow's final.
Martin moving up 2, still in that 2nd lane.
Hotong Davidson is charging hard despite a big queue.
He might grab him at the line.
He knows that he is qualified, right? And he takes it by the ease up. You love to ease up in the last 5 meters, save something for tomorrow.
You don't want to go to the well in the last 5 meters. 157.4 from Kuxman takes the win. Hotong Davidson in 2nd, 59.2. And Dalton Martin from Wartburg, 152.31 for 3rd.
So we'll see here. Our time predictions might be a little bit quicker than we will see, but there's still 2 more heats to go.
The predictions were aspirational.
Yeah, it's a blind prediction without seeing that first heat.
Yeah.
Because now they know what they need to run. They need to run 152 point or faster. And we do have a loaded 2nd heat here. Lining up in lane 3 will be Ryan Wilson of MIT. Lane 4, Wyatt Schmidt of Wartburg. Lane 5, Jake Schumacher of Milliken. Lane 6, Garrett Lenners of Nebraska Wesleyan. Lane 7, Tucker Cargyle of Redlands. Lane 8, Alex Ivanov of Carnegie Mellon. And Will Hauser from WashU will be in lane 9. Ryan Wilson, your indoor national champion.
And has beaten an Olympic gold medalist.
That's right. We told you indoors. He beat Matt Senchowitz last year out in Portland, hosted by Lewis and Clark, a D3 school. And they're off here as the indoor national champion looks to return to the final. Someone I want to mention there, he's out front now Tucker Cargyle in that maroon singlet. He's going all in on the 800. He's run 148. He had a qualifying mark in the top 5, I believe, for the 1500, but he's going all in on the 800 as he sees it's his best route to a national title as they bunch up in the first 800 meters or so as Garrett Leonard takes over. Something about Will Hauser, his PR is 149.39, and he did that by a negative split. So doing it the hard way as Garrett Leonard continues to lead Tucker Cargyle and Wyatt Schmidt of Wartburg.
Schmidt trying to move up in Wartburg's lane 2. They seem to really like running in lane 2.
You add 7 meters every turn you do that. Or every lap, I should say. Tucker Cargyle continues to lead.
Slower through the first lap, 56.01.
They're going to have to get going here. They want to see who has the best kick. It's all bunched up, but here comes Ryan Wilson on the outside of MIT. But Tucker Cargyle is able to respond and starts running away from an 800 field.
A little bit of a fight for position heading into that last turn.
And here comes Will Hauser back on his heel here, but Ryan Wilson, it's still 5 guys fighting. That's Tucker Cargyle, Will Hauser, Ryan Wilson, Garrett Leonard, and Wyatt Schmidt. 5 guys battling for 2 spots here as Tucker Cargyle extends his lead down the home stretch. But on the inside is Ryan Wilson. Tucker looks around.
The outside, though.
Oh, man, here comes Will Hauser.
Cargyle is fading back through this pack.
Wow.
Yeah, let's get eyes on the results here.
Ryan Wilson takes it. Will Hauser gets the big Q. Tucker Cargyle 155.4 and Garrett Leonard 155.8. So those two should be safe right now, given what the first heat looked like.
Could it be sub 151? We'll see what happens. We're going to get a quick replay of that finish as they just blanketed through the finish line. Cargyle looks to have it here, but he begins to fade just a little bit as Hauser closes it down.
Oh, look at that. That's what's going to be like. That is a prelude to tomorrow's final as Heat 3 is now on the track. Kai Detman of CMS in 3, Idris of Stevenson in 4, Mike Jasa of Loris in 5, Stephen Potter of Oshkosh in 6, Carter Oberfell of Loris in 7, Arthur Beyer of Johns Hopkins in 8, and Grant Magnuson of Wisconsin Stout in 9.
Mike Jasa, probably the most recognizable, excuse me, I always do that. Mike Jasa, probably the most recognizable athlete. We saw him in the 4x4 prelims yesterday.
As the gun goes up. And they're off here. Jasa already making the stagger up. It's not as big of a stagger as it is in a sprint event, as you're only going for the first 100 meters or so. But the
Loris boys.
The Loris boys, the duo, trying to follow Ryan Harvey into a final tomorrow.
Potter definitely fighting for that inside lane, but Jasa kind of doesn't cut him off, but sneaks in for the best advantage around that far turn.
Yeah, you're going to try to get the best position possible here as Jasa leads his teammate. Stephen Potter, if you remember, he was the indoor runner-up. Idris was the runner-up last year. He's in the green from Stevenson. So it's a pretty loaded field as they're coming through way faster than the first 2 heats.
You had an official split there, but it was in the 52s?
Yeah.
52.82.
They are going for it here. Jasa out from the start. Continues to lead wire to wire. He's putting the sting into some of these guys' legs right now. As
Potter looking to move into second here.
Potter and Idris are moving up, but Arthur Beyer from Johns Hopkins is going to go to the outside here. Stopped a little bit there.
Potter's carrying some momentum up to Jasa.
Can Carter Oberfell of Loris respond to get that second big Q as they come down the home stretch? Jasa continues to lead. Can Loris go 1-2? Oh, Potter is starting to overtake.
Potter wants it.
Yep.
Tying up a little bit off that fast pace.
Jasa somehow gets there. 150.51.
Stephen Potter crossing first at 1 minute 50.51 seconds. Mike
Jason 156.2. And Oberfall 150.72 in that blanket finish. We'll check the compiled results here. It looks like it did take sub 151 to make the final of the men's 800.
Didn't I say that?
No, I said that.
What did I say?
Something else.
I think I said that too. And there's Stephen Potter with the big Q there, taking 150.72 to get into tomorrow's final. All these men are separated by almost a quarter of a second. We'll call it a quarter of a second.
Yeah, not even 3/10.
Ryan Wilson, Will Hauser, Stephen Potter, Mike Jasa, Ben Kuxman, and Tor Hotung Davidson, your big Qs. Tucker Cargyle, Garrett Lenners, and Carter Oberfell, your small Qs.
time of 1 minute 50.45 seconds.
So an electric second day here, but we're not quite done yet. We have the men's decathlon 1500. As you see, some American Rivers Conference love right there. The Wartburg guys know Loris really well as they compete. Wyatt Schmidt and Dalton Martin congratulating Carter Oberfell on his qualification to the final.
Jason, the Loris guys took that heat out so hard.
I wonder if that was the plan here to do that. I wonder if is there lightning, I wonder, or are people not going to wait for the 1500?
Yeah, it does look like the stands are starting to clear out a little bit, but we do have a 1500 still to contest on the track, the last event in the men's decathlon. We'll paint a full picture for you before those men head out onto the track. Marcus Weaver, who we mentioned yesterday in the javelin, taking the championship, leads that decathlon. We'll take you out to a quick break before we come back and set the stage Welcome back, and we join the men's high jump podium ceremony already in progress. In that 8th spot, Samuel Hetrick from PSU Behrend. In 7th, Kyle Brunel from Rose Holman.
In 6th for the 2.05.
In 6th place, we're going to see Brady Smith hop aboard the podium. In 5th place, Valiant McKee from Widener.
In 5th for the 2.05 meter height. From Widener, Alat McKee. In 4th for the 2.08.
In 4th place from Wisconsin Oshkosh, Caleb Cornelius, 208 meters and a big PB for him to claim that 4th spot. Moving to the top 3, it's Sam Beatty from Central College, also going 2.08.
Here's your runner-up with a 2.08 meter jump from Mount.
And our 3rd member of the 208 club, Tanner Slack, hops aboard to claim his 2nd place trophy, but all eyes on the national champion, 2.16, head and shoulders above everyone else in this high jump competition. Kyle Rollins from St. John Fisher shakes his coach's hand and claims his national championship trophy.
For those wondering what 2.16 meters is, it's 7 feet 1 inch. That's like jumping over Shaq.
That's well over our heads.
Oh yeah. That's 16th all time as well, tied for 16th all time.
You could stand on my shoulders, and I think they would still be jumping over us.
Oh, yeah. 7'1" is huge. Actually, his PR is 217. However, 216. And we'll jump over to the high jump to see that 216 jump and some other jumps as well. Boom. Right over it. The bar stays still. Doesn't even clip it. Look at Kyle Rollins.
Kyle Rollins really jumping on his own there.
That's the record attempt. Just missed it.
He tried it twice. So close.
And you got to love to see him going for the record. If you remember from indoors, he won indoors and kind of strained his back while doing so. And once he got the W, he called it quits and didn't go for it. As you can see here on the screen now is the top 4. Caleb Cornelius, again, 2.08 meters from Oshkosh. Sam Beatty, lacrosse, 2.8 in 3rd. Tanner Slack, 2.8 in 2nd from Mount Union. And Kyle Rollins, once again, your national champion in the men's high jump. Again, for those wondering, how can you be in a different place if you're on 208? Well, it goes down to where they missed and how many misses they have. So if you have the least amount of misses, the better when it comes down to a tie. We're going to step away. Welcome back to the 2022 Outdoor National Championships at Spire Institute and Academy. We're in Geneva, Ohio, where the D3 athletes are taking center stage. We're going to move over now to the decathlon and see the javelin in progress right now. They're going to run cafeteria style, no flights. Everyone's going to get their throw while it's going on, as we see some of the athletes toss the javelin, we'll fill you in on where the standings are. Marcus Weaver right now currently leading through 8 events. So 2 more to go, javelin and the 1500. You see there that is Keaton Wood of Linfield. He's currently in 3rd. Abram Shortle of Eau Claire in 2nd. Mitch Stegman of Eau Claire in 4th. McGuire Peterson of St. John's, Minnesota in 5th. Stephen Pepper of St. Olaf in 6th. Taylor Phillips of George Fox in 7th. And Jackson Anderson of Williams in 8th. So big team points currently with 2 events to go. Eau Claire currently 1, 2, and 4. Marcus Weaver has a 116-point lead right now. If you remember, he did win the regular javelin, not the decathlon javelin. So he's already a national champion. He's looking to repeat as both regular javelin and decathlon as well. So a 2-time national champion is the hope.
Gives you a little confidence winning the event outright the day before the decathlon.
It's got to be a good feeling to know that your teammates in 2nd and 4th right behind you. As McGuire Peterson from St. John's, currently in 5th, takes to the runway. We'll see these guys here in a little bit for the 1500. A grueling 2-day event.
The track is empty and waiting for them.
I think they're going to take as much time as they can to get to that 1500. Jeez, she had her back turned.
You don't want to do that.
All right, so we asked the question yesterday when we were watching javelin. With enough training, how far do you think you can throw it?
I think 120 feet or so.
120 feet?
How far are they throwing it?
120 feet's far.
Yeah, well, I've got a cannon for an arm. I should do it in meters, I guess. So maybe 35 meters.
35 meters? No way. Let's see what that would be. 35 meters is 117 feet.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. And this is assuming that I haven't had time to warm up or do any kind of practice.
I mean, I love the confidence. Can you even throw? Yeah. All right, here's Mitch Stegman, Eau Claire. He's currently in 4th. The big toss there.
I believe that's actually Abraham Schrodel.
We'll see who's right. Oh, you got it right.
Crowd goes wild.
All right, 1-1, you, me. Well, this guy has his on his front here.
We've got Lucas Walton. Nope. I'm wrong.
This is Reed Packbuyer from Central College.
Leaving some room on the runway there, but a good toss for him. Sometimes you just need to get a mark on the board. Just throw it safe. Stepping up now is Isaiah Clausen from Wheaton.
They are on event number 9 of the weekend. 2-day event. Some of these guys have competed in other events like Marcus Weaver. A lot goes into a decathlon. Equipment, time.
10 events.
10 events.
As we see Aiden Angelone from Rochester here make his approach. Yeah, these guys are tired, and I'm really looking forward to this 1500 just because of the absolute carnage you'll see at the finish line. Everybody really, I mean, the tank is empty, and then they get on the line to run a 1500.
Most likely their least favorite event. Talking with Marcus Weaver here this season, and you know he doesn't look forward to the K indoors or the 1500 outdoors, but he likes everything else as his strong suits are in some of those field events.
This is Lucas Heitz of Central College.
You can see the nice farmer stand there.
And you see his competitors just kind of hanging out on the bleachers. These guys spend a ton of time together over the course of these competitions.
I mean, give it up to these officials here to market. That is the scariest job at a track and field meet.
They've been pulling javelins out of the ground for 2 days now.
They're tired too.
They're tired. But it's when you're tired that mistakes happen, Stu.
We don't need any mistakes to happen.
Thomas Rich here of Carnegie Mellon.
Or it's Brody Klein. It's Carnegie Mellon. Let us know what you're excited about for tomorrow's final.
Jackson Anderson stepping to the line. He's representing Williams. Checks the spikes. He's got his cool socks on. Ready to rip. Mason Barth here from Wisconsin Stout. Oh, I'm sorry, now I'm wrong. Taylor Phillips, George Fox. Got out of order there.
You just bounce that?
I like those singlets. Nice throw there from Taylor. And now we'll see Mason Barth from Wisconsin Stout take to the runway. A lot of times these decathletes toil away in silence. It's nice to give them some dedicated TV coverage all the way through the javelin and then following them to their final event, the 1500 out on the track. As Jackson Thompson from Central College makes his approach to the runway.
So there's a little slight change here in the women's events. They have 8 scored through 21, I should say. Right now, Johns Hopkins has 22. Wisconsin Lacrosse has 21. Loris in third with 19. And Westminster, Pennsylvania with 16. Mount Union with 15. MIT with 14. And WPI with 13.
Have we gone back to look at the women's 800 to see if anything?
We did. It was too hard to tell.
Nothing.
I think it came a little bit before the clip we had.
I mean, in the results, have we,
I'll
have
go
we
look.
seen if
Yeah.
anything has changed? As Stephen Pepper from St. Olaf makes his approach.
It's official. Oh, ooh. So Alfie Dunn DQ'd. She was Alfie Dunn DQ'd. She was not scheduled to be in the final. Her ruling is 15. For those at home that know track and field rules, 15-5.2D.
Always disappointing to see a DQ, but it's nice that it didn't impact the order of the final. Jacob Rice on your screen now from Wisconsin Platteville, coming in with a 52.38 seed. And he fouls intentionally, just tossing that one into the ground.
Interesting. Save some energy for the 15.
Brody Klein, Central College. Central College well represented here with 3 decathletes in the competition. 4.
Yeah,
4
Central
decathletes.
College and Eau Claire making up almost a third of the field.
Yeah.
With 7 athletes combined.
Imagine it makes training for these events so much easier when you have, in Central College case, 3 other athletes at a national level showing up every day to practice.
I have some fun facts about Eau Claire that I'll pull up here in a second if I can figure it out on the Instagram.
Klein kind of limping off the runway after that throw. Up next, Charles Moody, Southern Maine.
The last 6 national meets in a row, Eau Claire has sent 3 or more multis started in 2019 outdoor.
That is a fun fact.
Also, a fun fact about Eau Claire, since they have 1, 2, 4 right now, before the Javelin points are tallied, 10 of their 14 coaches are All-American, and 6 of those 10 were a national champ in their heyday.
Wow.
From their own athletic experience, not coaching.
Sam Rodmeyer of Wisconsin Lutheran takes to the runway to round out the order. Yeah, that's some serious experience on the coaching staff. He's going to get a good sprint going here. He's starting much further back than some of the other athletes that we've seen. Nice toss there from Rodmeyer. Looks pleased with it, smiles to the camera as he walks off. And we are back to the top of the order with Keaton Wood, Lenfield.
I guess this is maybe the last throw.
I would assume so.
Keaton Wood came in with the top qualifying point total. tosses out there. A quick update from that women's heptathlon. As you know, there are 7 events in that in the hep. Anna Gutierrez, who finished 3rd, PR'd in 6 of them.
Whoa.
What a day.
What a day. I mean, that's kind of a dream national meet.
That's big for Johns Hopkins in their quest for another trophy, as Anna Gutierrez came in 7th. So from 2 points, and that's another 4 points added to the total that they weren't expecting.
This is Lucas Walton from Bethel on your screen now. Mitch Stegman of Eau Claire warms up the runway for his teammate Marcus Weaver, who's on deck. And now Marcus Weaver, your open javelin throw champion, takes to the runway. No javelin in hand.
Oh, backwards hat count.
Backwards hat count. Let's see if we can get him a javelin.
Are we at 8 now?
That is 8. That is 8 backwards hats. And 0 forward hats. If we see a forward hat, you're deducted 1 from the backward hat count. Let's see if we can get him something to throw.
They have a team javelin. That's
all right, we've got the javelin there.
Oh, look at those shades.
Is he wearing trainers? No.
No, those are jav spikes. Gotta be able to plant when he tosses it. Oh, those are cool socks from Stegman, I believe. God, there's so much technique in this event.
You saw the officials standing way further back when Weaver made his approach. Now, Abram Schroedel from Wisconsin Eau Claire. That was McGuire Peterson from St. John's. We saw just make the throw right before that. And we will step away from the competition here for a second. We'll be right back with more of the And we're back. Thank you for your patience as we experienced a bit of a weather delay, but we are back on the track at the Spire Institute in Geneva, Ohio. It's the 2022 National Track and Field Championships. We turn our attention to the track now for our final event of the day. They just wrapped up the javelin throw. They've been patient through this rain delay. It's the male decathletes on the track now as they prepare for the 1,500-meter final, the final event of their last 2 busy days. Stu, what are we going to be looking for in this decathlon? We're looking to score some points and settle the All-American positions.
Yep, right now Marcus Weaver, the defending national champion, number 3 all-time, currently has the lead over his teammate by 239 points. We were seeing he's in contention potentially for that national record until we did the calculation of what his PR is in the 1500. He'll come up a little bit shy there after that calculation, but him and Abram Shortle from Wisconsin Eau Claire in the 1-2 position. They could go 1-2 here. Keaton Wood is in 3rd. McGuire Peterson is in 4th. Mitch Stegman from Eau Claire in 5th. So Eau Claire going 1-2-5 right now. Stephen Pepper in 6th, Taylor Phillips of George Fox in 7th, Isaiah Clausen of Wheaton, Illinois in 8th. Anything can happen in the 1500 based on points. Look for that 4 through 7 range. They're the closest bunch together, so be sure to be watching out for where that movement's going to happen.
I'm going to be keeping an eye on Lucas Walton from Bethel. He's got the fastest seed time heading into this 1500. He's currently sitting in 10th in the decathlon, but he's got an opportunity to challenge for one of those All-American positions if he's able to go off the front and score a lot of points here.
Yeah, and he's only, 48 points off of 8th, as you just mentioned there. So, and he has a really good 1500-meter PR. So we can see people moving and in and out of that All-American position. It's going to be a really fun 20-person 1500.
Yeah, unless they've changed something, as far as we know, we're condensing what would typically be two finals, a 2-section final, into one just massive race.
And I'm sure these guys do not have the experience of a big race like that. You and I, in some of those distance races, have been in a field of 20 guys, and you have to battle for your position, throwing elbows and everything like that. For these guys, this will be a new experience, I'm assuming, if they haven't ever been in 20-guy field. You can see the Central College contingent, 5 men from Central College. I think we said 4 earlier in the javelin, but never mind. That's Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah, they've got 4.
So there's 4 there. Those red singlets kind of blend together.
It's almost going to be a cross-country race out there for some of these teams.
Eau Claire and Central College packing it up here. We'll run through everyone's name. You can see it on the screen here. Charles Moody of Southern Maine, Lucas Walton, Bethel, Mitch Stegman, Wisconsin Eau Claire, Lucas Heights, Central College, Abram Shortle, Wisconsin Eau Claire, Jacob Rice, Wisconsin Platteville, Keaton Wood, Linfield, Marcus Weaver, Eau Claire, Aiden Angelone, Rochester, Jackson Thompson, Central College, Sam Rodmeyer, Wisconsin Lutheran, Reed Packbeyer, Central College, Isaiah Clausen, Wheaton, Illinois, Jackson Anderson, Williams, Taylor Phillips, George Fox, Stephen Pepper, St. Olaf, McGuire Peterson, St. John's, Minnesota, Mason Barth, Wisconsin Stout, Brody Klein of Central College, and Thomas Rich of Carnegie Mellon.
As Stu catches his breath there, we turn our attention to the track. They're lining up. Really cool event. We've been looking forward to this throughout the rain delay. These men are tired. They've been jumping, throwing, and running for 2 days straight, and now we settle it on the track with one final event, the longest event of all of them, the 1,500-meter run.
Yeah, I don't think they're looking forward to this, but they're looking forward to being done.
They're definitely looking forward to being done. They've had to hang out patiently here as they toe the line. The gun is up, and they're off.
Here we go.
The decathlon is underway.
3 3/4 lap around the Spire Institute track here. As you see them striding out.
Immediately, they're 30, 40 meters.
Look for Marcus Weaver here. This is kind of a long victory lap as Walton takes the lead here. He should be okay with a 239-point advantage over his teammate. Maybe his teammate won't beat him just to make sure he gets the win there.
Yeah, Walton's who we expected to see here. He's got a lot to push for. I mean, if he can just move up a couple spots, he's got the strongest PB in the field. And so we'll see what he can do.
Followed
Snag
by
one of those
Jackson
All-American
Anderson.
trophies.
Jackson Anderson from Williams taking a note from that distance squad in Williamstown, Massachusetts, putting himself up there in second place. He has a 4:39 personal best.
I'm interested to see what the finish line area looks like at the end of this race. We've got 20 guys who are very tired, who are absolutely going to the well here.
And that's also Mason Barth from Wisconsin Stout and Charles Moody of Southern Maine in that 4 breakaway pack right now. If you're at home, stand up, give these guys a standing ovation. 10 events over 2 days. The fans that are still left here are all standing and cheering for these athletes as they are coming up to...
Barth makes a move into second there to get up on Walton's shoulder.
Still, it's, you know, this is still fairly put together in terms of the pack. You can see right here on the screen now all of them. There's Stegman, he's currently in 5th, hoping to move up. There's Marcus Weaver and Abram Scholler as they cross there.
These guys were throwing a javelin 30 minutes ago. Just to put this into context for you.
Yeah, they had a rain delay, so they were throwing javelin. We hit a rain delay, stayed around for a little bit. They warmed up, threw a javelin again, and now they're back out here running the 1,500-meter run. 2 laps to go now as they come up to the 800-meter mark. We'll get you a split here to kind of compare where these guys rank in terms of other 1,500-meter runners. 2:19 or so fairly honest, I'd say.
Yeah, very solid pace. You're looking, if we were to extrapolate this to a mile, it would be about 4:40. Barth now taking the lead over from Walton. We'll see if Walton can respond. Obviously, he wants to win the race. Some bragging rights there, but he is after points.
Yeah, Lucas Walton sitting in 10th right now.
Takes it back.
And as we mentioned, he needs, you know, 80 or so points to move in there. We were kind of calculating what things would look like, and it's about 10 points a second here. And so he's going to look for Charles Moody and Isaiah Clausen, both of who were with him for a little bit there. And maybe even Taylor Phillips of George Fox. So as we hit the bell lap here, he is extending his lead over his main competitors. Southern Maine's Charles Moody currently in 9th, and looking for Isaiah Clausen here. He's got a good advantage on both of them. So Lucas Walton is hoping to jump into that top 8 right now as his lead extends.
And you know that Isaiah Clausen and Charles Moody, they're looking up ahead. They're trying to gauge how many seconds they've got to make up. Definitely under some pressure here as all these gentlemen enter the final lap. They're almost done.
Lucas Walton, 200 meters to go here. This is his final 200 to get an All-American trophy, and he turns on the jets. My favorite part of watching these decathletes here is they know exactly what their limits are and what they're saving for the end.
What a gap!
And they are going to kick as hard as he can. So he's got a good-sized lead.
He put what, 80 meters on Barth and 200 meters?
And there he goes onto the home stretch there. Lucas Walton coming for home. Currently in 10th, hoping to get into that top 8 and be an All-American. The man from Bethel.
What a last lap.
He is cruising.
He's going to set a PB here, close. 25, 26.
His PR was 27, so yeah, 2-second PR. Now we got to watch the clock as here comes Clausen from Wheaton. He's in 8th as all these guys begin to kick it in. But here comes Marcus Weaver down. His final 50 meters in a D3 singlet for Wisconsin Eau Claire. He'll be your national champion in the javelin as well as the decathlon.
And as these athletes come across the line, we'll try to get a camera there on the finish as you see these men just absolutely sprawling to the rain-soaked track. Yep. They are very tired.
This was a big weekend for all these men. Marcus Weaver really knowing that he takes home another 10 points for Wisconsin Eau Claire. We'll try to get the live scoreboard here for you to figure out where these guys ended up finishing in the decathlon. But Marcus Weaver lead was safe as he went into it, and they'll begin to populate up here in a second.
Yeah, you're hearing the calculators whirring across the country as the supercomputers crunch these scores.
But man, look at the carnage on the track right now. It's a great shot from our camera crew. I don't know how some of these guys are still standing upright. They're on the ground.
They definitely earned a little rest here.
10 events, over 2 days. They finally get a break.
Just absolute great effort here. We'll make some time at some point here to kind of show you how it all unfolded, but in the meantime, we'll check out these post-race reactions, the men's decathlon 1500.
And there's a nice view of Marcus Weaver, your national champion, 3rd all-time. As mentioned, he'll be transferring to the University of Arkansas.
A lot of mutual respect here, as we mentioned during the javelin. If you were tuned in with us, these guys have spent a lot of time together. They know each other well. Also, a couple big sets of teammates. So a lot of respect in the multi-events.
So it looks like if we can read across to our Jumbotron, they do have the final results up. We don't see it on our live results page. So we're going to have to look across the field for you and relay them over on the live stream. Marcus Weaver, 7,400 points.
Oh,
Keaton
we've
Wood.
got it here, Stu.
Oh, it's up now?
Yep. Marcus Weaver finishes first with an overall score of 7,486. Keaton Wood in second, 7,216. Abraham Schroedel in third, 7,154. Mitch Stegman in fourth, 6,964. McGuire Peterson in fifth, 6,932. Stephen Pfeiffer of St. Olaf, 6,872. Taylor Phillips of George Fox in seventh, 6,812. And your final All-American position, we mentioned his name before the race, Lucas Walton with a big run in the 1500. He takes the win there, takes the last All-American spot from Bethel with 6,654 points, Lucas Walton.
Wow. That big effort in the 1500 proves to be beneficial for Walton.
Makes it by about 50 points, so he definitely needed that final stretch. Final sprint.
When in doubt on live results, hit return, and they will automatically populate for you, as it did not do that. So we are all squared away here. Wow, what a great run for Lucas Walton. That got him a big, sizable gap, the points he needed to win the All-American Award.
Yeah, that was a great race. I mean, definitely the top spots seem to be fairly locked up going in, but it's those All-American spots that are kind of fun to track to. You see how much it means to the athletes. You see how much it means to the coaches. And, yeah, Lucas Walton really running himself into a trophy there over the last lap of that men's 1500.
Yeah, here are some movers in that last 15. So Keaton Wood moves up to second. Mitch Stegman moves up to fourth. So Eau Claire goes 1-3-4. Really impressive there to do that. Multi-U, they dubbed themselves. Lucas Walton moves up 2 spots as well. So those were the movers in there.
We got your top 4 flashing on the screen there. We just ran through their names. The top upwards mover, which is kind of interesting, he finished 11th overall, but Mason Barth makes up 4 spots to move up into 11th.
Wow.
Over the course of that run.
Here again, the graphic here. Once again, top 4, Mitch Stegman, Wisconsin Eau Claire. Abram Schroedel, third. Keaton Wood, second. Marcus Weaver, your national champion.
Now he's going inside.
We'll get you some highlights here, but man, what a day 2. A big points for Eau Claire in the team battle now. First, third, and fourth. So that's 21 points coming from this event alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good to head out there with some absolute firepower and a chance to make up some big points for your team. They weathered the rain delay. We were pushed back a little bit, but they took advantage of a big opportunity to score points for their team.
And we'll see a lot of Eau Claire here as they got some guys into the final day tomorrow. They'll have a few relays, a few individuals. There's another view of Marcus Weaver.
Eau Claire sitting pretty atop the scoreboard right now. Obviously, a lot of track to happen tomorrow, but currently Wisconsin Eau Claire sitting in first with 39 points.
Yep, 7 events scored, so we still have 14 to go, but getting 21 from one event, I mean, that sometimes is enough. That's what team total, just in general, sometimes at a meet with a couple of guys. We're going to jump over now to kind of see how Marcus Weaver got his national title. We start things off in the long jump, one of his favorite events. He told me he ends up winning that with a jump of 693. Here is his shot put. He threw it 14.49 meters, won that as well. That's his jump over 2 meters, which he finished 4th in. Oh, here's Keaton Wood now in the 400. Here's who won that. He ran 48.75. In the hurdles, Keaton Wood won that, running 14.59. In the discus, here's his javelin now. After that rain delay, he won it with a throw of 58.79. With the backwards hat and everything. And there was Lucas Walton in the 1500, crossing the line in 425, moving up from 10th to 8th to get an All-American spot and 1 point for Bethel.
And that's how it happens, Stu. That's how it happened.
No, if you were able to do a decathlon and you were a decathlete,
Yeah.
what do you think you'd do? How many points? You already said you could throw this javelin 30 meters.
I could throw the javelin over those mountains, Stu, and obviously the 1500 would be a good event for me. I think I'd score 9,000 or 10,000 points.
You wouldn't have the world record. You'd maybe do like 2,000.
It would be kind of the media decathlon. We'll arrange that next year.
No one would want to see that.
Nobody would want to see it.
We would be trying to throw a shot put, and it would go nowhere. And as you look here with the camera having it, you can see the camaraderie amongst the decathletes here as they will now all pose for a complete field photo in front of the sign, a great backdrop and a great sign of sportsmanship. So we're going to take a break now, let them get their photo.
National Championships.
Welcome back, folks. We turn our attention to the infield for the men's decathlon podium presentation. We just saw them wrap up their day with the 1,500-meter run, and now we get to watch their celebration. They just took a big group photo back on the front turn, showing the mutual respect they have for each other, and now we will watch them climb aboard the podium.
In 8th place.
Our 8th place finisher from
After that impressive 1,500 meter, Lucas Walton from Bethel in Minnesota. You can hear the cheers, hopefully, or see them at least. Everyone is giving a round of applause for him. Now in 7th place from George Fox, Taylor Phillips.
812 points, Taylor Phillips.
The sportsmanship is high amongst these
6th
multi-athletes.
place this last 2 days from St. Olaf, 6,872 points,
In 6th.
Stephen Pepper.
From St. Olaf, Stephen Pepper.
This is the biggest crowd we've seen out of
Our
the
5th place finisher from
After the
St.
rain delay, they're just letting everyone down
John's,
there.
Minnesota,
In 5th from St. John's, Minnesota, the Johnnies, McGuire Peterson. Now the first of 3 Wisconsin Eau Claire athletes in 4th place. Mitch Stegman. Coach Chip Schneider gets to hug 3 of his athletes
Our
here.
3rd place finisher also
In 3rd
from
place
Wisconsin Eau Claire,
for Eau Claire, Abram Schroedel.
7,154 points, Abram Schroedel.
Schradel.
This year's runner-up
from Linfield,
216 points,
Keaton Wood.
Keaton Wood.
I think we'll see Marcus Weaver box jump up to
And with
the
a
first
point
place.
total of
see after 11 events this
7,486 points, he successfully defended his title from last
See
year.
what he does. Oh,
From
good
Wisconsin
call,
Eau Claire,
Noah, with the
defending
box jump.
champion,
Marcus Weaver, your national champion, with a score of
Congratulations, Marcus, on your
74-86.
championship, and
Redemption for
congratulations
Marcus
to all of
Weaver
you
after
on a
not
great
finishing the
athletic
indoor
competition
heptathlon.
this year.
Comes back, defends his national title along with 2 of his teammates in 3rd and 4th as Coach Chip Schneider looks on as they get 21 points heading
Thanks to all of
into
you
tomorrow's
sticking around
final
This
day.
evening, we'll be back underway tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock with the women's hammer.
One final
And our
photo
running
for
events
the
will start at
men's
11:30
decathlete
with
field.
the
Congratulations,
women's
gentlemen. What a show you put on.
3,000
Definitely
steeplechase.
worth the wait.
Thanks
We
for
sat out
coming
that
out.
rain delay
Have a
waiting for
safe
the
drive home
15
or
minute
wherever
run.
you're staying.
Thrilling event.
And have a great
A lot of respect
rest
for
of
these
your
guys.
evening.
Let's see what the Eau Claire guys do. If they're on the podium. Oh, they're going to drop down here.
Look it up. They're done. All right, let me go. Let me go. Let's go.
This is definitely going in the school newspaper.
Shoot. Let's go.
Oh yeah, Coach Chip Schneider, I got to speak with him after the Nationals indoors where they were co-champions, and he felt his team was a little bit stronger, more prepared for the outdoor national championship. And clearly, after 21 points here in this event, that is proving true right now.
And that brings day 2 at the NCAA Track and Field Championships to a close. We saw a lot of exciting prelims today, a lot of exciting finals in the field events. We'll be back tomorrow for day 3, the final day where we settle this thing once and for all. Until then, I'm Noah Drati, joined by Stu Newstat. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. He wasn't shooting. Yeah, that's what Earl came to help Keith. I was on the one.